So going into this ball game, we might just refresh our memories. In Week 10 of last year, Frank Corral kicked a 27-yard field goal with 3 seconds left to give the Rams a 26-23 win. Nolan Cromwell came up out of a hold out of field goal formation and ran for a touchdown. Billy Waddy caught a 68-yard touchdown pass from Pat Hayden, and Ricky Bell for the Buccaneers rushed for 104 yards and scored a touchdown. But that was last year. Now it's a question of the Rams coming in here 2-1. The temperature 83 degrees. The humidity is a little over 70%. There is a 60% chance of rain. We already had a torrential downpour about 3 hours ago. So the Rams, from the heat, although not so much humidity in Los Angeles, come to the fire in Tampa. And Frank Corral will tee it up on the 35-yard line. Deep for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be number 46. That's Danny Reese. And all week long he's been quoted as saying, "I'm just dying to bust one." Well, we'll see. Up in front of him, you have Ragsdale, number 23. And with Ragsdale and Reese, we are just about ready for the kickoff. Frank Corral kicks it down the middle. And it's picked up by Ragsdale to the 25, falls forward to the 31-yard line. So George Ragsdale, out of North Carolina A&T, a 3-year man, will start it off now. And let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Williams at quarterback, Eckwood and Bell the running backs. The wide receivers, Isaac Higgins, number 81, and Morris Owens, 85. The tight end, and he could be a key factor in the game, Jimmy Giles, number 88. So let's take a look as the Buccaneers put it in play. 1st and 10 from the 30. Bell is all alone with Eckwood on a wing, and in motion is Morris Owens to the right side. First play straight ahead, and Ricky Bell runs right into the grasp of Larry Brooks, then picks up maybe 2.
Well, Vinny, the Tampa Bay team has been a big play team to date. They beat Green Bay last week on 3 big plays. They opened the ball game with a 3 left formation and then used motion to end up in a double wing. So they're being a little more open to date. They're basically an I formation team with a tailback carrying the ball.
One thing for Doug Williams, he has the lowest completion percentage, but he leads the conference with over 16 yards per completion. So when he hits, it's usually a big one. 2nd and 8 from the 32, and here goes Eckwood, and he fumbled right into and out of the arms of Dave Elmendorf. Nolan Cromwell fell on it, and the Rams have it. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 39.
Well, he had a nice hole in this play. This is what we call a hunch play. The lead back goes right through, and Eckwood has a good hole there. Somebody hit his elbow, jarred the ball loose. This is what Tampa Bay cannot have if they expect to stay in the ball game. Let's see if Hayden throws on 1st down now.
So 1st and 10 for the Rams on the Buccaneer 39. Jesse is wide right. Preston Denard goes left. It'll be Lawrence McCutcheon hit and drilled immediately as the Buccaneers tested, and Wally Chambers, number 60, came over to make the hit.
Well, Tampa has what I would call a playoff defense. It's up to their offense whether they're going to get into the playoffs or not. This is a real test of the Tampa Bay defense. It's also a test of Hayden to put some points on the board.
Hayden has him set out of the eye. Cullen Bryant and Lawrence McCutcheon. Denard left. Nelson, the tight end, is on the right side. And it'll be McCutcheon, and they're going to eat him up. McCutcheon unable, as Bill Kohler, who plays a big job, number 77, a 6-year man out of Montana State. He was on the National Football League all-rookie team way back in '73.
Well, it's just straight ahead M blocking, man-for-man blocking. Tampa's defense is tough against the run. You're not going to run much against that Tampa defense.
Well, here's a big play now for Hayden. 3rd and 8 for Hayden. The Rams with a pretty good completion on 3rd down. Nelson is on the left side. And Hayden is looking deep down the middle, and it is broken up. Broken up by number 54, Richard Wood. And anybody who knows anything about SC knows about Batman, and there he is.
Wood got real good depth on this. Hayden has the time to throw. Wood almost picked it off. Watch this. Should have gone up with 2 hands rather than 1.
So although Eckwood fumbled, now Ken Clark, and we should mention something about Clark's punting. his punts have been returned for more yardage than any other punter in the NFC. He's forced just one fair catch on 19 kicks.
Well, he's kicking line drives all the time, Vinny.
Well, we'll see about what he does now. Deep is Reese, flanked by Mucker. And that one will go out of bounds, so he's able to get off a pretty good kick, and they will mark it at the 9-yard line, where Tampa Bay will put it in play, 1st and 10 from the 9. With 12:45 remaining in the first quarter, timeout on the field, the Rams nothing, Tampa Bay nothing. With the ball for the second time following a fumble, and then their young defense stiffened. They put it in play 1st and 10 from the 9. Eckwood and Bell are behind Williams. Morris Owens wide on the right side, and Williams going for the home run, and he's going to throw it out of the ballpark. Isaac Hagen's going deep down the left side, and he was guarded by Perry, and he never had a chance.
He's a big play quarterback, and that's a pretty good call from the end zone. You might get off a long gainer there, and the Rams use double coverage.
One thing about Williams, in 3 games, he has cranked up now for 70 passes, and he has not been sacked. And he's going up against a ball club that last year sacked Mike Ray 9 times when they met. So we'll see the difference this afternoon. 2nd and 10 from the 9. Owens wide right. And here comes Eckwood, and he maybe gets a yard. That's all to the 10, making sure that he didn't fumble this time. He had both arms hard around the ball.
Watch Hannah versus Youngblood on this play. See if we can see it. Hannah's a defensive man playing offense, and he just tried to block him low, and Jack ran around him.
How tough is it, George, to convert a defensive lineman to the offense?
You know, Vinny, that's something I always wanted to do when I was coaching. I wanted a defensive lineman playing in our offensive line to give us some toughness and leadership, because it's just the opposite. On offense, it's poise, calmness. On defense, it's fight and fury. And this is what Hannah's doing. He doesn't have techniques. He'll hold, he'll do anything to get his job done.
Freddie Dreyer shaken up on the play, down on his knees at the 8-yard line. So we can repeat that play. Watch Doug Williams for a moment, but we decide to go back to live. So it'll be 3rd and 9. We're having a little bit of equipment problem as we go to the 10-yard line, and the Buccaneers under Doug Williams trying to get it going. The 2-year man out of Grambling. Tampa Bay has converted only 13 third downs. They're last in the NFC. They're not going to gamble. They go to Eckwood trying to get around Perry, and he is dragged down at the 5-yard line. Brodzinski came over to help, so they actually lost about 4.
Well, that's what they do well. That's where they run the ball. They lined up in an I formation on 3rd and 9 and tossed the ball to the tailback and run the football. That's their best play. That's what they hurt Green Bay with.
Coming in now to do the punting is Tom Blanchard. And in talking about the punter, Blanchard's last 9 punts have been returned only once. Last year, 70% would run back, the highest rate in the NFC. So let's check his hang time. Eddie Brown is deep for the Rams on the Buccaneer 47. And it's a low end-over-end kick that'll roll to Brown at the 46. Brown looking for his blockers, and there's a clip against the Rams as Brown is necktied at the 25-yard line. The clip was on Tony Davis. Tony Davis, who was the wide man going down under the punt, was really hit from behind. And if you pick up that orange and white 27, you'll see the play. There's 27, and there's the hit from behind by Sid Justin, hitting Tony Davis, and the clip has been spotted and duly enforced now by Jerry Markwright, the referee.
We used to have a rule, Vinny, that if you're in doubt, don't throw the block. I'd rather not have them blocked than the clip.
Personal foul, clipping number 29, Sid Justin. You can read his lips. So that'll put the ball back 1st and 10 on the Ram 40-yard line. The last time they had the ball there on the Buccaneer 39 and couldn't go anywhere. So we've got 11-17 left in the first quarter. The Rams nothing, Bucs nothing.
Situation, Doug France and Selman now. 77 and 10 seconds.
11:17 left in the first quarter, and the Rams and Buccaneers no score. As you can see in overtime, Minnesota beat Green Bay 27-21. Kramer passing to Rashad to do it. Play action fake to McCutcheon. Over to the right side to Cullen Bryant. The pass is complete, and he goes about 2 yards shy of a first down. So they picked up 8, moving the ball to the 48-yard line. This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the National Football League is prohibited.
That's good, smart football. Play action from the I formation, 1st and 10.
The 2nd and 2. The ball on the 48-yard line of Los Angeles. No score. In motion is Jesse as they give to Lawrence McCutcheon, and he cracks to about the 49, which should be enough for the first down if they spot it across midfield, and it looks like they will.
Bill Kohler and Leroy Selman on the stop.
So that'll be a first down for the Rams. Undaunted by the clipping penalty, they immediately bounce back to keep it going. And now from midfield, Hayden trying to keep a drive going. Count is 2-0 against Hayden. In his young career, 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions against the Bucs. Second man is Cullen Bryant. He took that handoff on his left hip, and he did well to hold on to it.
Well, that's straight-ahead football and blocking, man-for-man blocking, which is pretty good against that 34 defense. We're going to try to watch Doug France against Selman and see what we can get here. Here it is. It's a running play. Selman just comes right into pursuit and helps on the tackle. Selman lines up head-on Doug France so he can work either inside or outside.
Leroy Selman has 4 sacks so far this year, 33 in his career. In motion is Preston Denard. Hayden looking right and releasing to McCutcheon. And McCutcheon, with a little screen set up in front of him, goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Now, Vinny, that's the same play the Rams worked last week, very similar play, to beat the 49ers, throwing to Elvis Peacock. They did not defense this properly. If they defense that play that way, the Rams are going to make some extra yardage.
Doug Smith, the right guard of the Rams, did a pretty good job on Richard Wood. He moved Wood out of the play, and that helped set up the screen and make it go. So you have 3rd and 1 for the Rams. They have to get just about to the 39-yard line. And here goes McCutcheon, hit and dives forward anyway, and might have had the first down. He got away from Wally Chambers, and coming up was Mike Washington. And Washington, number 40, looked like he might have him right there. And he still fought his way ahead. However, they're going to spot the ball shy of the first down. So it'll be 4th down for the Rams, about a foot or less, George.
The guy I like in this situation, if you run the football, is number 32, Cullen Bryant. Give him the ball straight ahead. Very seldom does he get hit for a loss. He's a sure ball carrier and a hard runner.
And you can see there's going to be inches to go. Another important factor, the Rams are 2nd in the NFC in ball control. They average a little more than 33.5 minutes per game. Only Dallas holds the ball more, 35 minutes. So the Bucs have to find a way to get the ball.
There's 2 calls here, quarterback sneak or give the ball to Cullen Bryant. That's two safe calls.
All right, Bryant and McCutcheon behind Hayden. Charlie Young is on the left side. Terry Nelson on the right with Ron Jesse. 4th and a foot. And it will be Cullen Bryant. And it would appear as if he fell forward. We just have to wait and see. The Buccaneers giving it up grudgingly. Cullen Bryant.
If they made it, they barely made it.
Following
Straight
McCutcheon's lead block.
That play is called 25M hunch. It's an old single-wing football play, and it's sound. You don't care what the defense is. You shouldn't lose yardage.
What does the hunch mean? Where's that come
Hunch
from?
means the halfback hunches up and leads through the play.
Okay.
Blocks the linebacker or the first man that shows.
Probably invented at Notre Dame. And it'll be a first down by inches for Cullen Bryant. 7 years out of Colorado. So Bryant, the butter and egg man for the Rams, gets the 1st and 10. The ball on the Buccaneer 39. We have 9:21 to go in the first quarter, no score. The Rams had a big break and couldn't capitalize the first time they got the ball. Now they're trying to get a move on. Jesse goes wide right. Denard is left. Hayden to McCutcheon. John Williams missed the block, and down he goes. He was supposed to pick up David Lewis, number 57, and he ran right by him.
That's the way to get across. Watch Chambers 60 try to beat Slater to the inside, and Slater just pushed him in, knocked him over.
So while Slater was taking care of Chambers, John Williams couldn't handle David Lewis, and Lewis made the tackle, knocking him down at the 40-yard line. So it's 2nd and 11. Jesse is wide right. Nelson is on the right side. Denard left. Bryant and McCutcheon behind Hayden. Kohler almost jumped offside. And Hayden over the middle to McCutcheon, and he spins away and goes inside the 35-yard line. Cotney had an arm around him and couldn't hold him.
Pat's doing what he does well against this good rush, this good Buccaneer defense. He's throwing short. He has time to read the underneath coverage of the linebackers, and he's picking up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards.
You know, Hayden has really been a streak passer. He completed 9 straight against Oakland, 7 straight against Denver. He had 8 straight against San Francisco. And here he comes, 3rd and 2. The ball on the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. Hayden looking to the right side and throwing to, oh, what a lick. Jarris White hitting Cullen Bryant head on. White is 5'11", 185, and Bryant is 6'1", 234. You can take another look at that concussion.
Pat wanted to go downfield, and he saw the flat was open, and I think he picked up the 1st down here. Cullen Bryant is also a good receiver. People don't realize that or give him enough credit. He's an excellent receiver.
So it's 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 26. Remember, this started on the Ram 40-yard line following the clip on the punt. Denard goes left and Jesse is right. Again, Nelson on the right side. And you have Elvis Peacock in there now. And it'll be play action fake, end around to the tight end, Nelson. And the Buccaneers have read it. They drop him at the 40-yard line. Johnson and Leroy Selman, number 63, read the end around to the tight end, Terry Nelson.
Well, you know, when you get in this area of the field, you don't want to get hit for a loss. You don't want to get out of field goal range. Now, that's a gamble. That's what I call a gadget play. And against a real good defense, you don't fool them too much.
It's surprising, too. The Rams figured to go straight ahead, not a lot of razzle-dazzle.
That's the best way to attack the Buccaneer defense. Go right at them.
So that moves the ball back to the 36, so it's 2nd and 20 for Hayden. Peacock and McCutcheon. Jesse on the right side. Hayden gonna scramble. And now holds on to it, and they'll drill it at the 30-yard line, and he fell forward to the 29. But they're going to spot it back at the 30, so he picked up 6, 3rd and 14.
I'll tell you one thing all the audience can watch. Hayden has fine protection. Tampa is not putting any pressure on him when they just rush with 3 men. They're going to have to dog one of those linebackers to put a little more pressure on him. Good coverage by Tampa. Nobody open.
Tampa Bay leads the NFC with 15 sacks, only 3 fewer than the NFL leader, New England. 3rd and 14 from the 30. Denard left and Jesse right. Hayden hesitating. Chambers leaps in the air to take the pass away. And now Hayden throwing down the left side, and a diving catch by Preston Denard, and they finally knock him out at the 26-yard line.
I tell you what, Pat Hayden did a fine job here on scrambling. There's nobody open. Watch Denard now, number 88. He sees that Pat's in trouble, and he's working to get open. Now watch him come back. Make a diving catch. This is heads-up football. Watch this catch. Brilliant catch. And now he's not touched down by the defense. He can get up and run. See, the defender didn't touch him yet.
However, it is ruled no pass. It is 4th down. Preston Denard got up, but at the 30-yard line is where the ball we spotted. 4th down and 14.
They must have blown it dead.
They sure did on that scramble. So it is an incomplete pass with all of that scrambling and the great catch. Frank Corral kicking out of a hole by Nolan Cromwell. The ball spotted on the 37. It is a 47-yard field goal attempt. Corral has made 11 of his last 12. And he kicks it short and to the right, no good. And for the second time, the young Buccaneers have stiffened.
I think one of the reasons he kicked that short is the field's a little wet in the grass, and he kicked low. He kicked underneath it.
4:59 in the first quarter, no score.
A lot of people think using...
As you look at a couple of final scores, Detroit defeating Atlanta 24-23, and Pittsburgh over Baltimore 17-13. Buffalo chewing up the Jets 46-31, a final. And our score, no score, with 4:59 in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for Tampa on their own 30-yard line. It's the first time they've gotten the ball out from their own goal post. They did hit after the 30 the first time and fumbled. Took it over on the 9 the last time. Now they have it 1st and 10 from their own 30. Morris Owens wide right. All alone is Ricky Bell, and Brzezinski upends him along with Freddie Dreyer right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, the Buck defense has really held. They've had bad field possession. The Rams have no points on the board. So the Rams have not taken advantage of two great opportunities to either score a touchdown or kick a field goal. Now, the Buck offense has been very conservative. I expect him to put one up deep.
2nd and 10 on the Buccaneer 30-yard line. In motion goes Jones, wide right. And a flag on the play as Williams sets up and throws it through a crowd intended for Giles, the tight end, but as we said, a flag. By the way, we're going back. Remember that catch? It appeared to be a great catch on television by Preston Denard, and we said that they had ruled no catch. The officials felt that he had trapped the ball.
From our viewpoint, it looks like he made a great catch, isn't
Yes, it sure did. The referee, Jerry Markbright, the umpire, Gordon Wells, head linesman El Sabato, line judge, Bama Glass.
Illegal motion, number 84, offense, declined, third down.
That's Gordon Jones, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, who was in motion right and broke off towards the line of scrimmage. So the illegal motion, and that's refused to make it 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line. And we'll see what Doug Williams can do this time. He has Eckwood and Bell. Morris Owens is wide right. Isaac Hagan's wide left. Giles on the right side. Brzezinski trying to get in, and the pass is picked off by Jim Youngblood, and he's off to the races.
Yeah.
There's a flag on the play, so let's see. Ricky Bell was the intended receiver. Jim Youngblood picked him up and took off the pass. Evidently, it was a holding penalty against Tampa Bay, which is refused. You know, and here's the play again.
This is similar to what we saw Monday night.
Holding, number 75, offense, declined, touchdown.
When Carl Lorch picked off a pass from Pisarcik and scored. When you throw in the flat, if there's a defender there, you got to get it up and over. You can't throw a line drive right through him. And that's what happened.
Dave Revis, number 75, the tackle on the left side, was guilty of holding. The intended pass for Ricky Bell picked off by Jim Youngblood, and there's the touchdown. So the Rams leading 6-0, and the defense gets them the points. And now Frank Corral, who has kicked 6 for 6, and he's 31 out of 31, misses. So Frank Corral missing and breaks his string. He had kicked 31 consecutive points. Let's see whether it's the damp ground or what's causing him. Just didn't get it. 4:11 to the quarter, 6-0 Rams. Yes, White Shadow, MASH, WKRP in Cincinnati, and Lou Grant right here Monday evening. 2 turnovers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, an interception and a fumble. And the interception, a 31-yard run by Jim Youngblood for the touchdown. The kick will go to Ragsdale at the 4, to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 33-yard line. A good return by George Ragsdale, a 3-year man out of North Carolina A&T.
33-yard line.
So the Buccaneers trying to bounce back. 1st and 10 on their own 33. Coach John McKay, who has his Buccaneers 3-0. It's a nice view of his hat. Now we go 1st and 10 from the Buccaneer 33. There you are for Corky and the kids and the McKay Marching and Chowder Society back in Los Angeles. The motion is Eckwood to the right. A pitch back. They're setting up a student body right for Ricky Bell. Elmendorf tries to bring him down, and he finally goes down at the 38-yard line. A sweep by Bell.
Well, the thing that they do well is run from the eye, and they've only used that once, and that was 3rd and 9. They're giving the Rams a different look on defense. They aren't going to fool this Ram defense too much. You have to block them. You have to execute. And by the way, that touchdown pass that Youngblood picked off, Jim Youngblood, shouldn't have been thrown.
New England beating San Diego 27-21. The Buccaneers have it at 2nd and 4 in their own 39. Eckwood in motion to the right. And straight ahead, Ricky Bell, and he goes to midfield. And we should remind you that last year, Ricky Bell gained 104 yards against the Rams, and in 9 games since, only Paul Hofer of San Francisco has gone 100.
See, it's M blocking, straight ahead blocking, and this is the type of football that'll bother the Ram defense.
So they've gone 17 yards so far on the drive to make it 1st and 10 from the 50. Hagan's wide left and Morris Owens wide right. Giles, a tight end on the right side, over the middle, intended for Giles. He bumped into Jack Reynolds. Well, the crowd thinks a flag should be thrown, but there is none.
Vinny, in the warm-up, in the pregame warm-up, we talked about that's one play that could be successful against the Rams defense, sending Giles up the seam. Now, he was going to come open, but he was jammed by Jack Reynolds, which is smart football on Jack's part.
Giles, number 88, who figures to be rather conspicuous today, a 3-year man out of Alcorn State. They tell me he runs the 40 and 4.6. And, George, I'm just wondering about times in football brochures, just how accurate they are. Maybe we can talk about that in a minute. Jones in motion to the right. Second man, and that's Eckwood, and they stack him right up. And what a lick at the last minute by Brodzinski, but he held on to the ball. What about these times you read about?
Vinny, I've always found that the times were exaggerated. We'd get reports a guy ran 4.5, 4.6, 4.4. But then when we got them in and timed them, they never were that fast.
Did you time fellas when you were with Washington?
Yes, I timed them, and I used to time them on grass. I didn't time them on AstroTurf and didn't put track shoes on them. And I timed them the way they would be in football.
With some of those fellas you had, you probably used a calendar to time. From the 50, it's 3rd and 10. The Williams, who's a big play man, needs a big play to keep any kind of a drive alive. Doug rushing by Jack Youngblood, now by Mike Fanning, and he's going to keep it. Stumbles to the 45-yard line, upended by Thomas and Jim Youngblood at the 45. And he is far shy. He needs about 5.5 yards for the first down, so they'll have to give up the football.
See, Williams is at a disadvantage today. He's a young quarterback with great potential. He's going against an experienced defense that can do things to bother him. Mix their coverages, run stunts, give him one coverage, take it away. And this is what he's found going in the early part of the game.
Now, Tom Blanchard, we told you, he has really improved on his hang time this year from last. Eddie Brown all alone on the Ram 10. And Blanchard arrows it over Brown's head and into the end zone. So the Rams will put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 20. And Los Angeles leading Tampa Bay 6-0 with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. The CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, featuring the world's strongest men competition, the 1979 Canoe Kayak World Championships, and Pacific Gymnastics Championships, a preview of that event. That's all coming up on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 5 p.m. 49-year-old Ray Malavasi, a lineman at West Point under Earl Blake and Vince Lombardi, eventually at Mississippi State, drafted a 6th round by the Philadelphia Eagles. Looking at his young Rams as they try and move 1st and 10 from the 20. Hayden to Cullen Bryant. And Bryant is out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Bryant figures to be the workhorse, and he has been already.
Well, the Rams used motion on that play to change the strength. The only remaining back was Cullen Bryant. They gave him a little flip, and he made this mostly on his own. Good, powerful running.
2nd and 3 on the Ram 27. We have 36 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It's a slot right. Denard inside Jesse. Nelson is on the left side. Now in motion goes Denard. Second man, Lawrence McCutcheon, and he fumbles. Leroy Selman hit him on the fumble, however. There's a flag, and it looks like Tampa Bay has recovered.
Well,
Bill Kohler falling on it. He's the nose guard, number 77. He was fighting John Williams, number 75. That's Chambers, number 60. Here comes McCutcheon. And as he trips and goes forward, the ball is loose. Kohler sits up and sees it, and he beats John Williams. So Bill Kohler beating John Williams on the fumble, and the Buccaneers have the ball 1st and 10 on the Ram 27. Great camera work, fellas.
let's see what the Buccaneers are going to do now. They've got great field position. They have to come away with at least a field goal.
1st and 10 on the Ram 27-yard line. Morris Owens goes to the left side. Giles and Obradovich, two tight ends, and Bell in motion. Here comes Eckwood, running laterally and then gets across the 25 and is dragged down at the 22 by Dave Elmendorf. So they picked up 5 at 2nd and 5.
You know, watching Eckwood's running style, he doesn't necessarily make you miss. He just runs hard, takes off, and runs. Not too nifty. And most of his big runs have been that way. He just takes off and runs.
Well, on that note, that's the end of the first quarter with the Rams 6, Tampa Bay nothing.
Antifreeze. You never think about it, or how it has to protect somebody beside you, or what could happen without it. Stranded in freezing weather and no help for miles. Don't trust your luck. Don't trust the weather. Take out old, weak antifreeze now and put your trust in Prestone, too. More people trust Prestone than all other brands combined.
I've been worried about you.
More people trust Prestone. And when you flush your cooling system, trust Prestone Super Flush.
Where's Merlin? Where did it go?
Jenny's got a playing tic-tac-toe.
Now where's Merlin?
When last seen it was out with Dad playing blackjack 13.
Where's Merlin now?
It's not there, it's out with Billy playing Magic Square.
Merlin is a computer with personality. Plays 6 different games, talks with 20 sounds. 6 penlight batteries not included.
Where's Merlin now? Better come clean.
In the kitchen with Mom playing music machine.
Merlin from Parker Brothers.
Zenith ever. System 3 is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. An all-modular chassis designed to be the most reliable Zenith ever. Most reliable. And now, better sound. 4 speakers, audio jacks, even an audio control center. Better sound. Zenith System 3. System 3. Now, even better.
The start of the second quarter, Tampa Bay having recovered a Lawrence McCutcheon fumble. They have it 2nd and 5 on the Ram 22. Coming into the ball game, the Bucs had scored 81 points, tying them with Washington for the NFC scoring lead. Give you an idea, last year, it took Tampa Bay 7 games to pile up 81 points. So 2nd and 5 for Doug Williams and the Buccaneers. The ball on the Ram 22-yard line, slot left. Owens inside Hagan. Giles, the tight end, on the right side. And the corner right, ready to get it started.
Normally, this is a running situation. Defensively, you call a run defense. It's a good play-action situation. Offensively,
Ricky Bell all alone with Eckwood on a wing as they go slot left. And in motion comes Eckwood, and there goes Ricky Bell, slanting nicely, and he made a marvelous run that time. Oh, what a slant for Ricky Bell.
When they used motion, Ricky Bell, the hole was plugged up, and Ricky Bell worked to the outside, did this on his own, dove forward.
Freddie Dreyer had a shot at his ankles and couldn't get him, and Brodzinski was looking back over his right shoulder as Bell slanted right behind him. Beautiful run. So it is 1st and 10 on the Ram 15-yard line. Bell and Eckwood Morris Owens in a slot left inside Larry Mucker. Williams getting some heat, throwing Mucker, touchdown!
Williams showed the power and strength of his arm right there, because Mucker was covered, and he just threw that ball like Johnny Bench thrown into second base.
Larry Mucker and Doug Williams combined for a 15-yard touchdown pass.
Good first down call, Vinny. Now watch him gun that ball in there. Mucker's covered. Look at that.
Mucker, 3 years out of Arizona State. Marvelous play beating Rod Perry for the touchdown. And now Neil O'Donohue, who has had all kinds of troubles, and that means big trouble because he's 6'6", but he's 9 out of 11 in points after. Let's see if he can give the Bucs a lead. The spot, the kick, it's up, it's good. We've got 14 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the half, and the kid from Dublin, Ireland, Neil O'Donohue Begora, has put Tampa Bay out in front of the Los Angeles Rams 7-6.
People used to preserve their food with a chemical called sodium chloride. Salt, not very effective. Today, Monsanto makes a chemical preservative called potassium sorbate that keeps food days and weeks longer without spoiling. No chemical is totally safe all the time, everywhere, but with a worldwide shortage of food, we need chemicals like potassium sorbate. Without chemicals, life itself would be impossible.
It's official. Ford's answer to rebates, the largest incentives ever available to its dealers. The biggest clearance offer in Ford history just got bigger. See your Ford dealer and discover how many hundreds of dollars you can save on new trimmer LTDs, Mustang pace car replicas, elegant Thunderbirds, tough V8 pickups, vans, Broncos, Rancheros. Compare the total Ford deal with any other. You may well find it's the best value overall.
Neil O'Donohue, having just kicked the point after to put the Buccaneers out in front 76, will tee it up. Drew Hill is standing on the Ram 1-yard line. To Hill's right is Eddie Hill, number 24, and to his left is Elvis Peacock, number 34. They're on the 10-yard line. So O'Donohue signals he's ready, and we've got 14-13 to the half, 7-6 Rams. The kick to Drew Hill, and the rabbit out of Georgia Tech to the 15, to the 20. To the 30, and out of bounds. Neil O'Donohue over there along with Aaron Brown to knock him out. As he crossed the 35-yard line, we'll see how they spot it. We can duck in some scores for you now. A final, Houston 30 and Cincinnati 27.
You know, Vinny, Tampa has shown they can come from behind. They did that against Baltimore. That lets you know this team has really improved.
First and 10 from the Ram 33-yard line. In motion is Jesse, McCutcheon, and Bryan. And here's McCutcheon. Bryan and Smith blocking for him. Caught from behind and drilled by Richard Wood, the 5-year man out of USC. David Lewis also, so it was a Trojan effort indeed. Wood, number 54, last man getting up.
Eddie Hill looks like he's going to be a good kick returner. He has that quickness and speed to go with it that you need to return punts and kickoffs. I think he needs a year of seasoning on punts.
Well, we have 13:49 remaining in the second quarter. Timeout. Tampa Bay 7 and the Rams 6.
You dance on a river of wood, and you never forget that the spinning shapes in the cold, dark water are your only bridge home. So you keep on dancing. And when you've coaxed enough logs into place to build a good-sized town, you can finally head for River's End and Miller Time. Miller Time. Time for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you got the time, we
It's the World Series of Golf. Next Saturday and Sunday, the best of world-class players shoot for the title in the World Series of Golf. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
That's next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Sunday at 4 from the Firestone Country Club in Akron, the World Series of Golf, the conclusion to the tour. It should be a dandy. Trouble for the Rams. Doug Smith, the 2-year man out of Bowling Green, the right guard, was playing for Dennis Hara, who has a bad calf, and Smith just went off with a knee injury. So the Rams are hurting at guard. Dennis Hara is in there now. 2nd and 7 on their own 36. Bryant and McCutcheon behind Hayden. Hayden under a rush from Chambers, a screen to McCutcheon, and it's the Batman, Richard Wood, who gets him again. Richard Wood is the #1 Buck tackler. Remarkable young ball player, 5 years out of USC.
Well, this showed the quickness and the lateral movement of Tampa's linebackers. No chance on this play.
So they lose 5 back to the 31. That makes it 3rd and 12 as Richard Wood dumps Lauren McCutcheon.
Let's see where Hayden tries to work on 3rd and 12 now. Let's see who he goes to.
He has Billy Waddy wide right. First time he's in the game. Jesse in a slot left. Inside Denard, who's in motion. Hayden looking over the middle, and it's to Denard, who was crossing over, and he's brought down at the 35-yard line by David Lewis.
Well, you're not going to pick up the first down throwing underneath. We had quite a battle there between Doug France and Selman on that play. Here it is, Doug France, 77, Selman, 63. One-on-one. Doug is pushing him outside, staying with him. Doug did his job. Doug won that battle.
So Denard, who was in motion, makes the reception, but they only picked up 6 yards. It's 4th and 6. Ken Clark kicking from his own 23-yard line. And deep for the Bucs will be Danny Reese. The kick to the right side, and Reese will take it on his 20. To the 25, and he goes down at the 28-yard line. On top of him is an old pal of yours, Coach, Joe Harris, whom the Rams just picked up, number 51.
Joe's a good special team player. Very, very physical. And I think he's a good addition to the Rams, and he's also going to be a football player later.
In the 4th quarter, Washington 17, St. Louis 7. Mosley just kicked a 47-yard field goal. Kansas City leading Oakland 28-0 in the 4th quarter.
You know, a guy that I think can help somebody is Jackie Wallace. I'm surprised no one's picked him up.
Chicago and Miami 3-3 in the 2nd, and so Doug Williams puts it in play. 1st and 10 on his own 29. Bell and Eckwood. Eckwood, the second back, tripped up at the 30-yard line, and down he goes. Larry Brooks was the man who hit him, number 90, to bring him down.
The secret of this formation, the I formation, is to have a fullback who will block for the tailback. Has to be a strong blocker, and this is what Tampa Bay has done very well in the opening 3 games. That's their #1 formation.
San Francisco leading New Orleans 7-6 in the 2nd quarter. Picked up 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the Buccaneer 31. Tampa Bay leading the Rams 7-6. 11:15 to the half. Slot left. Owens inside Mucker. And Eckwood goes wide right. Bell running into Mike Fanning and broke the tackle. There's a flag on the play. Fanning, number 79, tried to bring him down with his arms, and that's not enough.
Well, they're giving them different sets and running straight ahead from odd offensive sets.
Tampa Bay guilty of the rule infraction. It'll be called against them. Referee, Jerry Markbright. And that's Jack Youngblood just to the referee's left. Jim Youngblood in the lower right-hand corner, already figured prominently. He picked off a pass and ran 31 yards for a touchdown.
You know, Mike Fanning is a good football player. He's playing with bumps and bruises. I think he's a good pass rusher.
Illegal motion, number 87, offense, 2nd down.
That's Larry Mucker, the man who caught the touchdown pass. He was guilty of illegal motion. We have 11 minutes and 3 seconds to the half. And we'll see what Doug Williams can come up with now against a stubborn Ram defense. He sends Isaac Higgins right, Morris Owens the other way. And he has Eckwood and Bell behind him. Passing to the right side, trying to lead Hagan's, no good. And right there with him was Dwayne Osteen, number 33.
There's the inexperience of Williams. You don't gun that ball on that type of a play. You got to lay it up and over. They're in double coverage. They haven't covered short, and they haven't covered long. And if you try to rifle it in there, that's what happens.
I think you said earlier that was going to be his problem. Philadelphia leading the Giants 7-6 in the second quarter. Tough to read the professional double coverages, especially for a young quarterback looking for a tight end.
This is the situation he doesn't want to get in, 3rd and 13.
So Doug Williams trying to move the Buccaneers, but they're bogged down on their own 26-yard line. And he's going to set up a bomb for Giles. No good. And again, it was to the tight end up the middle, Nolan Cromwell, right there with him.
That's the play we talked about, Benny, in the top of the show. A seam pattern to the tight end, almost completed. Actually, he threw that very well.
Just went off his fingertips.
You're better to overthrow it than underthrow it.
He had Cromwell beaten by a step, and then the pass was another 2 steps in front of Jimmy Giles.
We'll see that again.
So Tom Blanchard will be asked to boot it out. It is 4th and 13 from the 26. Eddie Brown all alone on the Ram 35. Blanchard under the rush, but he got it away. Brown gets away from one man at the 35 and is buried on a big hit by Aaron Brown, number 55. The Zach fella hit.
I really like these Tampa Bay linebackers. They're physical. Watch this head-on tackle. Perfect
He's
tackle.
from Ohio State, and you can feel that all the way in Ohio.
If anybody appreciates the end of the day, it's a Big A Auto Parts store. Because during the day, no other store works harder to give you quality parts and friendly service. Why, only this morning.
Okay, you need a muffler and a tailpipe brakes for a 67 Plymouth? We'll have it here by 11 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I can show you how that goes on.
You need 6 gas cans? Yes, we can grind drums. Is it a V8 or a 6?
Quality parts, friendly service. That's Big A, the hard-working auto parts store.
When choosing between the phone and a business letter, remember, the letter is loaded with hidden costs.
I see you.
There's dictating time, typing time, filing costs, materials, even mailing costs.
Sorting, sealing, stamping, and postage.
To reduce those costs, don't reach for a stamp. Reach for the telephone. The phone's a better buy than the business letter.
10:38 to the half. Tampa Bay leading the Rams 7-6. The Rams scoring on an interception, and then Tampa Bay on a 15-yard pass to Mucker. Kansas City leading Oakland 28-7 in the 4th. And we understand Doug Smith is out of the game with an injured knee. Seattle 10, Denver 3 in the 2nd. 1st and 10 on the Ram 43. Jesson in motion. Here comes Cullen Bryant. And he gets to the 49-yard line, a pickup of 6 to make it 2nd and 4. By the way, one of the keys in the play would be the fumble by Lawrence McCutcheon. And one thing John McKay has is a ball-hawking Tampa Bay defense. They have now forced 14 fumbles and recovered 9 of them. They lead the league in that department.
Well, that helps give the offense good field position. The nose man, the man that plays over the center is the nose man. This is Randy Crowder in there, number 71. He's been doing a good job.
2nd and 4 from the 49 of the Rams. Jesse in motion. Here comes McCutcheon inside John Williams' block. And he got back to midfield, and that's about all as he tried to cut in behind John Williams.
Now watch the nose man, 71, playing over Saul. He takes Saul on, reads the play, works laterally, gets rid of him. They turn the play in, and Crowder is over here to help on the tackle. They have 2 good nosemen, Crowder and Kohler.
3rd and 2 for Hayden and the Rams. And Hayden on a quick count, setting up in a hurry over the middle and dropped by McCutcheon. There's a flag on the play.
Several flags. Smart football by Hayden.
Jackie Slater, I believe, has broken the rules. Number 78. Evidently a holding call on Slater. That's the preliminary feeling up here.
And sometimes when you go on a quick count, you defeat your own offense. Sometimes your own men aren't ready. It's a good good, smart football by Pat. I like that. They weren't ready. The defense wasn't ready. He had a first down there.
Holding, number 78, offense, declined.
And there you are, naked to the world. Jackie Slater, 4 years out of Jackson State, and the whole world knows all about it.
You know, Vinny, very interesting. 4th and 2, they're throwing the football. That's how they respect the Tampa defense.
And now they're kicking it because Ken Clark out of St. Mary's in Nova Scotia will be punting from the Ram 40-yard line.
3rd and 2, they're throwing the ball.
Danny Reese, and he has Tony Davis on his right and Larry Mucker on his left. Clark's longest punt of the year, 53 yards. Low snap, but he gets it away, but it's another line drive kick off to the right. This one kicks and goes out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it. At the 16-yard line. So Tampa Bay will put it in play, 1st and 10 on the Buccaneers 16. Don't forget tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker's plays Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John, M.D. And on 60 Minutes, a new exclusive interview with Johnny Carson. Well worth seeing and hearing.
You know, Vinny, I want to go back to something I started to say. 3rd and 2, we usually like to run. Twice in this ball game, the Rams have thrown the ball 3rd and 2, which lets you know they respect that Tampa defense.
And Tampa Bay stiffened, held on, and now they put it in play. 1st and 10 from the Buccaneers 16-yard line. Bell is the up back with Eckwood. Hagan is left. Owens is right. Play action sweep over the middle, broken up, intended for Morris Owens. Pat Thomas reading the play so very well. Big play by little Pat. Coach, let's take a look at Jack Youngblood, who has to do some forcing from the outside.
Yes, and he's going against Hanna on this play. Hanna's, again, a defensive man playing offense, and he's doing the job pretty good.
That time it's tight end Jimmy Giles handling him.
Giles took him off. Yeah. We didn't see the play that Pat Thomas made. Pat Thomas had perfect position on the receiver that time.
2nd and 10 on the 16 for Doug Williams. In motion is Morris Owens. Williams on a draw, and it's Eckwood. Eckwood to the 24-yard line, and there's a few hot tempers, Pat Thomas and Jerry Eckwood throwing a few punches. Jerry Eckwood, the rookie out of Arkansas, who claims Gale Sayers gave him an emotional talking to that got him to come back after a lot of injuries. He had a severe knee injury in '76 and was out in '77.
I'm sure Ricky Bell welcomes him because now they've got 2 speed merchants in the backfield. You can't defense one, you have to stop them both.
3rd and 2, the ball on the Tampa Bay 24-yard line. Hagan's right, Owens left. Fake and a keeper by Williams trying to get outside, and Jim Youngblood did a good job of making him run out of real estate.
This was a good call. It's a keeper play to run by the quarterback, but the block, watch the block on Youngblood, we can see it, was not effective. Threw at his feet, and Youngblood made the play like the good linebacker he is.
So Jim Youngblood stymies Doug Williams on a keeper, and it is 4th and 2 with 8:30 left to the half. Eddie Brown deep on the Ram 37.
Let's watch Eddie Brown's technique on catching this ball. He's one of the best in all of football. He makes a basket, he floats it in, it doesn't hit his pads, and he puts it away. He has one leg forward. If the ball slips, it doesn't go through. The one leg catches it.
So Blanchard ready to punt. Eddie Hill goes back to help out Eddie Brown. A rush was on, a flag. They have knocked the kicker down, and so there's no reason for Eddie Brown to even move. Tom Blanchard was buried, and coming was Pat Thomas, along with Drew Hill and Wendell Tyler.
Good call.
You can see Blanchard just as he gets it away. Coming in on the left side is number 27, Pat Thomas. And that's Wendell Tyler. Flipping into him is Pat Thomas, and then Drew Hill hit him, along with Justin.
You know, usually they don't call that, Vinny. When he's blocked into the kicker, they don't call that many times.
That's Aaron Brown shaken up.
Was blocked into the kicker.
Ray Malavasi standing on the far side with Bill Dunston, number 66. Take another look now. Here's Blanchard ready to get it off, and look at the Rams coming.
Personal foul.
First Tyler.
You see him being blocked?
Pat Thomas a somersault, and then Drew Hill and Sid Justin hit him.
Well, I think that's a questionable call. I think when you're blocked into the kicker, that very seldom they call that.
So it's 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 29-yard line. A big break for Tampa Bay. Owens in a slot left inside Hagan. Williams under a rush from Jack Youngblood. Throwing on the run. No good. Almost caught by Jim Youngblood. See? And wait a minute. There's more hard feelings. Jim Youngblood, who came across and almost intercepted it. Then there was a pop. Isaac Higgins was slanting in.
Wow.
So let's go from one Youngblood to another.
Well, here's Jack Youngblood rushing the passer, going inside of Hanna. So Williams has to roll out to get away from him. Now Williams throws a line drive, which could have been picked off.
Yeah, Jim Youngblood had it and couldn't hold it.
Jack Youngblood's going to try to beat Hanna any way he can.
Here's Jim
That ball
Youngblood.
should have been intercepted.
And look at the pop with Isaac
Number
Hagan.
27, defense. First down.
While all that is going on, Pat Thomas, number 27, is between Jim Youngblood and Isaac Higgins, and Thomas evidently got steamed and hit Higgins, and he draws the personal foul.
I think they haven't forgotten that injury that took place in the Coliseum.
When Doug Williams had his jaw broken. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 46. They've moved 30 yards on 2 big penalties. Jones in motion to the left. A pitch back to Eckwood. He got away from Jack Youngblood, but he's knocked out of bounds shy at the 45. Jack Youngblood just missed it as the tight end came back to push him out of the way. Watch it, 88.
When your tackle's having a little trouble, you like to have him get some help from the tight end. Now, the Rams had an overshifted defense, so the tight end blocked him on that play.
Second down and 12 yards to go for Tampa Bay. They lead 7-6. 8 minutes and 11 seconds to the half. Isaac Higgins wide left. Morris Owens right. Giles tight end on the right side. Play action fake to Eckwood. Williams setting up down the middle. He's got Morris Owens. Dave Elmendorf brings him down inside the 30, but there's a flag on the play.
Like I think maybe a late hit by Youngblood.
That's Jack Youngblood coming in, maybe.
Let's watch it. Let's see what it is. He beats Hanna to the inside. Now watch him. Hanna's holding him. Delivery sack. They called it. That's what they're trying to do with the new quarterback rule. No late hits.
So Morris Owens making the reception, and the Buccaneers had that play anyway. Yeah.
The Rams are losing their poise here. They haven't done anything in this drive to amount to much. The Rams are losing their coolness.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 79, defense. Tacked on to the end of the completed pass. First down.
The penalty is against Mike Fanning for the late clip of the passer. It is tacked on to the completed pass, which makes it 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers on the Ram 14-yard line. So there were 2 personal fouls and a roughing the kicker penalty to keep this drive alive, and drive it is now. 7-6 Buccaneers trying to go for 7 more. Second man is Eckwood, and Eckwood is to the 10 and goes to the 9-yard line.
Let's watch Freddie Dreyer on this play. 89, he's the offside end. Now watch 89 take the block around and come right down in what we call cutoff pursuit and make the play. This guy is always hustling. Doesn't matter what he weighs, he's doing his job.
It looked like Dave Revis didn't have him to block. Revis ran right by him to take out the linebacker on the right side. You can see the penalties, 10-1 in favor of the Buccaneers, 51 yards against Los Angeles. 2nd and 6 from the 10. Second man, Eckwood. Still on his feet to the 5-yard line.
There's an example of Eckwood. Just keep running, keep those feet going. All right, let's watch Fanning come in, number 79 on. Get rid of the blocker. He tried to make the tackle with his shoulder, didn't use his arm.
Well, moving it to the 5-yard line. It is 3rd down and a little bit more than a yard to go, about a yard and a half. Big call now for Williams to keep this emotional bubble inflating.
The tailback's going to carry the ball, and 38's probably going to block. Roberts.
It's the second man, all right. Ricky Bell, touchdown.
That's what it was.
And the block.
That's what it was.
And a good block it was by Johnny Davis, who just took Larry Brooks right out of there. Larry Brooks, number 90, is wiped out on this. Watch 9-0. That's Steve Wilson, the center. Williams has Wilson lead the charge as they double-team Brooks. And here comes Ricky Bell all alone, stomping through for the touchdown. And they're wild in Tampa. It is 13-6 Tampa Bay, thanks to 3 penalties, and then the touchdown run from 5 yards out by Ricky Bell. The hold by Tom Blanchard. O'Donoghue's kick is up. It's good. We have 6 minutes and 32 seconds to the half. Tampa Bay 14 and the Rams 6.
Good blocking by Johnny Davis.
If we could take you through the plant to show you what is new and let you see what's going on and watch the things we do. If you could see the cars and trucks we're working on for you, you'd say incredible. For that's incredible.
Introducing the Incredible Ford Factory Tour. Come and see the incredible things we're doing to rethink, redesign, reshape the automobile.
If you could see tomorrow the way it looks to us today, you'd say incredible. Ford, that's incredible.
To take the Incredible Ford Factory Tour, write us for information.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, look out for the return of the world's strongest men competition. The action-packed competition of the 79 Canoe Kayak World Championships and more. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Tampa Bay just went 84 yards on the rule book. And Ricky Bell went 5 yards for a touchdown. Now the kickoff, the deep man is Drew Hill at the 5. To the 10, 15, to the 20, 25, to the 30, and to the 34-yard line. A nice return by Drew Hill, the rookie out of Georgia Tech. There are the number of plays, but of course the key for those 84 yards, a roughing the kicker and 2 personal fouls, and that kept the drives alive. Ricky Bell, by the way, has now scored 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games, and it was Bell punching it over behind the double team blocking of Horton and Wilson on Brooks and the lead block by Johnny Davis to give Tampa Bay the second score. 1st and 10 on the Ram 34. Peacock and Tyler in there now. Play action fake to Tyler. And Hayden going deep down the middle. No good. Intended for Billy Waddy.
Well, Pat did the right thing. It's a good call, 1st and 10. Now watch Selman in France. Now Selman has to go right through France because they're dogging. See, that's his job. And he came in and actually blocked Pat's view. Pat overthrew him, but good coverage on Tampa's part also.
Last year, Hayden's 68-yard touchdown pass to Billy Waddy against Tampa was the Rams' longest touchdown pass, and it was the longest touchdown pass against Tampa Bay. So he had to be thinking about that when he had Billy Waddy going deep. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Peacock and Tyler, both backs go out. Hayden with a lot of time to Peacock. And he is hit by Kohler, and it drives him forward almost for a 1st down. Bill Kohler hit him so hard he almost knocked him 10 yards.
Pat had all day to throw, good protection, three-man rush. He looks over the entire field. Now he dumps it off to Peacock. Look at 2 men on Selman, Leroy Selman, 2 men on him. Now he dumps it off to Peacock. Now watch Peacock get hit from behind, which drives him forward, but it also shows Peacock's power. Hey, Peacock, put that football away.
Here comes Kohler, 6'4" and 250 out of Montana State. And Big Bill drove him across the 40, and Peacock said thanks for the shove and kept on going. And it's less than a foot for a first down.
Kansas City, listen to this. Kansas 30, 35, Oakland 7, a final. Isn't that something?
So just shy of the 44, third and about a foot and a half is all. Hayden has Peacock and Tyler, and it's Wendell Tyler out at midfield, breaking tackles, driving forward for another 4 yards. He got away from both safeties, Cockney and Brown.
I'll tell you what Tyler did. It's a fast trap. He goes over, jumps over the feet and legs, look how he's carrying that football. Nice run by Wendell. They got their big play guys in there.
Hayden now, live, going deep. Elvis Peacock knocked all the way to the Ram bench. The weatherman said before the game that we had a 60% chance of rain. Does that look like 60% to you? That looks like a lock on it.
You know, right here, this series is a big one because the Tampa defense hasn't allowed any points today. They've been in control.
2nd and 5 on the Buccaneer 41-yard line. Charlie Young, the tight end on the right side. Waddy is over there. Denard is wide left with Waddy in motion. Wendell Tyler with Dennis Harrah and Jackie Slater blocking. And Tyler goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. He had some good blocks.
Stopped by Leroy
Dennis
Selman.
Harrah, number 60, who was playing with a bad calf. Doug Smith started. And Jackie Slater, 78. Slater, of course, trying to make up for that holding penalty that hurt so much earlier.
Well, the Redskins upset St. Louis in St. Louis, 17-7. Mark Mosley coming through with a big field goal.
The ball on the Buccaneer 37-yard line. So it's another 3rd and so very, very short for Pat Hayden. Second man is Wendell Tyler, and he's through and down to the 25-yard line, just hurdling people.
What Wendell does well, he uses his eyes. He sees openings. Watch him. Watch him jump over the pile, right in there. It's a good
By the
athlete.
way, you know, today's game rematches two great collegiate runners, Ricky Bell of SC and Wendell Tyler of UCLA. When they last went head-to-head in their senior year in 76, Bell gained 176 yards. The Trojans went to the Rose Bowl over unbeaten UCLA. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 25. A quick out to Preston Denard, who dropped it. No catch. Mike Washington was there to stick him immediately. Washington out of Alabama.
Well, the ball, then he was thrown behind Preston. If we can see that again, the ball was thrown behind him. He didn't have much of a chance. Now watch this. This is what we call a short out. Watch Pat go back. 3 steps. You see the ball a little bit behind him, and with the rolled up defense, the revolve, he knew there was a defender right there.
So 2nd and 10 from the 25. Denard is left. Waddy is right. Hayden going deep down the middle and dropped. Cedric Brown was all alone for the intercept. 3 years out of Kent State, and he couldn't do it.
That's how you practice them. That's what you do to get interception practice, right in his hands.
He had 6 of them last year, and he missed 3 games.
Yeah, again, Vinny, Pat has plenty of time to throw that ball.
So it is 3rd and 10 from the 25. 3 minutes and 28 seconds to the half. In the gathering gloom of Tampa, with Tampa Bay leading the Rams 14-6. So on a 3rd and 10, Denard is left. Waddy is right.
5 defensive backs in now.
It was Leroy Selman who jumped, and the pass is picked off by Cedric Brown. They'll call it back, but Cedric Brown is going to retreat it to the 30-yard line. But it was Leroy Selman of Tampa Bay who jumped off.
And you know who we have to give credit to for that? Pat Hayden. His cadence brought him offside. Pat does that as well as anybody in football. He's in the top 3 or 4.
It is number 63, Leroy Selman, who is just in the lower corner, and you can't see him.
Let's watch Pat Hayden now. Watch his head. He varies his cadence. He goes on a quick count. He goes on a late count. See his head? He bobbed his head. Selman went expecting a quick count, way offside.
Offside, number 63, defense, third down.
So it was 3rd and 10. That makes it 3rd and 5.
You know, Benny, that play can decide the ball game. That's the way the game goes. It doesn't go down to the final play. It's mistakes early in the ball game.
3rd and 5 from the Buccaneer 20. Preston Denard left and Waddy right. Both backs go out. And Hayden being chased by Leroy Selman. There's a flag on the play as Selman brings him down from behind.
Well, they had a better rush on him that time.
It'll be holding, and I think against Jackie Slater again. And that would be the second time for Jackie to be caught guilty of the infraction. Jackie's 78, and we'll see then if he is guilty of it. So first you have Leroy Selman offside. Now a holding penalty against Slater. Back to the 30-yard line.
If you notice, that time Pat went on sound.
Holding, number 78, offense, third down.
Let's watch Hayden on this 3rd and 15 now. Let's see what count he goes on.
It is 3rd and 15. The ball on the Buccaneer 30. 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go. It is raining now here in Tampa Bay, and the Rams in wet weather trying to get 7 in a hurry. It is 14-6 Bucs. 3rd and 15 from the 30. Jesse is wide right, Denard left. The running backs are Peacock 34, Wendell Tyler 26. Tyler stays in to block, but Hayden just did get away from Kohler. Has time to throw, no good. Bill Kohler almost sacked Hayden, and then in what is now a driving rain, the ball lands untouched.
Here it is. A little bit better rush. They're doing a fine job of covering. Pat doesn't find anybody to throw to.
That's Kohler, 7-7, trying to get his ankles.
No chance.
So it is 4th and 15 from the 30. Remember, the Rams had it 3rd and 5 on the 20. Then Selman had jumped offside. This is a wide open stadium. No roof at all.
Let's watch the holder. Let's watch the snap in the holder.
The hold by Nolan Cromwell on the 37. Dennis Harrah getting in a little late. So it'll be a 47-yard field goal in the rain. The kick is up. The kick is way short and to the left. No good. So Frank Corral is having trouble. And so are the Rams in the rain at Tampa Bay. With 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to the half, the Buccaneers are leading the Rams 14-6. Don't forget the NFL on CBS with these regional games next week. Minnesota, Detroit, the Giants in New Orleans, Washington, Atlanta. Tampa Bay will be at Chicago. St. Louis and the Rams, San Francisco, San Diego. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. Don't forget all the action begins with the NFL today. The line of scrimmage was the 30, so that's where the Bucs take over. 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line in the rain and leading by 8. Second man is Eckwood, and he just runs into a pile. That's the end of that. George, leading by 8 points now. It makes it very tough for the Rams to catch Tampa Bay.
And you know, Benny, over the years, they've said Pat Hayden has trouble throwing a wet ball, if you recall, because of the size of his hands. I think he can throw the football. I think that's a bum rap on him. But if this rain continues, it could be Vince Ferragamo would be a major factor in this ball game.
Of course, the rain was in that playoff game with Minnesota.
Yes.
That's the albatross around Hayden's neck. Pat, of course, is a winner and has been a winner.
You know, right here, we got 2:29 is where Tampa now wants to probably grind it out, pick up some first downs. That missed extra point has turned out to be a big play.
It's a crusher indeed. Corral missing the point after, missing a field goal, but of course that was only 50-50 in this kind of weather from 47 yards out. The Ram touchdown was the interception by Jim Youngblood, so the offense hasn't really clicked.
No, and what happens is Frank can't plant his foot with any firmness. The ground is very soft, and it sets in a little deeper, and that's what throws his timing off on the kicking. It's not necessarily the follow-through or playing the ball. It's planting his foot and having a good firmness.
Dr. Bob Curlin in the shirt sleeves, orthopedic physician and surgeon standing on the Ram bench, along with Pat Hayden and many others. 2nd and 10 from the Buccaneer 30 in the rain and fog. Owens goes wide left. Giles at tight end on the right side. Obradovich tight end on the left side. Ricky Bell. Pat Thomas met him head on. He was also dragged down from behind as he crossed the 30.
Well, you know what they're doing, Vinny, is just what we said. They have 2 tight ends in there, Giles and Obradovich, giving the Rams another gap and running the football.
That's the second charge timeout for Los Angeles.
So the Rams charged with 2 timeouts now, with 2:21 left in the half. Tampa has just disappeared outside of looking down at the field. Visibility is down to zip.
The lights have been on for about 5 minutes.
It'll be 3rd and 9 for Tampa Bay. Jack Reynolds, middle linebacker and signal caller for the Ram defense, getting a few instructions from upstairs. He's quite a ball player, Coach.
Yes, he sure is. He's always ready to play. He's a student of the game. You know, another thing, when you get behind like this is where you miss the leadership of people like Simpson, Tom Mack, guys that were real solid veterans.
Give you an idea of the intensity of the rain. Look at the steps and look at the water pouring down. And they were hit by torrential rains here Friday night. And now here comes some more. Well, here come the Bucs, 3rd and 9 from their own 31. Hagen's wide right, Owens left, and they give it to Eckwood, and he's got some daylight across the 40 for a first down.
Well,
big play for Tampa Bay.
When they lined up in that I formation, we knew the tailback was going to carry the ball. This is a good call. I formation, reverse pivot, fullback goes one way, tailback goes the other way. Good call under these conditions. Gives them the first down, keeps the clock going.
We have 2 minutes left to the half. Good run by Eckwood and Tampa Bay, leading the Rams 14-6.
If women shaved men's faces, we try to shave them a lot closer than men do, because we know all about skin and Noxzema. Trust me, the closer you shave, the more you need the medicated comfort of Noxzema shave cream. Take it off, and what have you got? Skin smooth enough to get next to mine. Noxzema.
Out there, the cold is brutal, but what better place to tell you about Peak antifreeze and coolant?
Peak is liquid armor against sub-zero cold, against rust, against corrosion.
This winter, buy Peak protection, because nothing tops Peak. Nothing.
Thanks for a good run by Jerry Eckwood, and Tampa Bay has it 1st and 10 on their own 41. It has stopped raining now. 2 minutes left to the half. 14-6 Tampa Bay. In motion is Eckwood. Williams looking down the right side, throwing, and it's to Eckwood, who juggles, recovers, and goes across the 35. Elmendorf brings him down at the 33-yard line. Eckwood able to beat Pat Thomas. And he and Thomas shake hands, but it was a big play by the rookie out of Arkansas, Jerry Eckwood.
They had 2 tight ends in there and a wing, which is a difficult formation to defense. Play action, partial rollout, and that time Williams drilled it right in there.
So they're spotting the ball at the 33. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers on the Ram 33. A minute 18 to the half. Johnny Davis is blocking, but Eckwood goes the other way across the 30 to the 29. A little art of misdirection that time.
Yes, you know, Tampa right here. Tampa Bay gets a score in here. It would be like last week's game against San Francisco, where San Francisco fumbled, could have had a 17-0 lead. This is a big, big series for both clubs.
55 seconds of the half. 2nd and 6 on the Ram 29-yard line. Williams is 3 for 11 for 68 yards. 1 touchdown to Larry Mucker. 1 interception to Jim Youngblood for a touchdown. Johnny Davis, a blocking back, is in there and staying in to block. And Williams, end zone, he's got Giles, the tight end for the touchdown. Well, George Allen, you have said it since we had breakfast this morning. Jimmy Giles, the tight end, is the key to the Tampa Bay attack, and you hit it right on the head.
And he's been open every time. It was just a matter of execution. This is a great call. Wide open. Just a matter of catching the football.
He got it in between Elmendorf and Cromwell. We can take yet another look. The tight end going down the seam, and look at him all alone to make it 20-6 Tampa Bay. Neil O'Donoghue will now try to make it 21-6 out of a hold from Tom Blanchard. Blanchard's hold, O'Donoghue kicks, it is good. We've got 33 seconds to the half, and the young, undefeated Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 21. The Los Angeles Rams, 6.
They did what the 49ers did not do last week. The 49ers got a lead, couldn't put the Rams away. Now the Rams are in deep trouble.
And for Ray Malavasi and Pat Hayden, they have a considerable bumpy road to travel if they're going to pull this one out, especially here in Tampa Bay. Tremendous emotion down here.
Yes, this is a real good football game. The other thing is, they're going against a real tough defense. 49ers defense was all right, but they're not like this Tampa defense.
And John McKay with his collar up, and so are his spirits. This, of course, would be perhaps the sweetest victory, or maybe not in his entire coaching career, but certainly in his professional career, if his 5-year plan comes to fruition today against the Los Angeles Rams. But John has a long road to travel before this one is over. 21-6 Buccaneers. Neil O'Donoghue squirting it on the ground. It goes by Rysick and is picked up by Drew Hill at the 5 to the 30 and dragged down by Aaron Brown, who makes every tackle, it seems, on kickoffs and punts at the 34-yard line. Aaron Brown out of Ohio State, number 55, really been obvious.
The Rams only have one timeout left. They used 2 to stop the clock.
So Hayden and the Rams put it in play with 26 seconds. The Bucs went 70 yards on 6 plays, and the 29-yard pass to the tight end Jimmy Giles all alone. Now let's see if the Rams can bounce back. 1st and 10 on their own 34. Hayden has Peacock and Tyler, and it is Peacock, and he's in the open. Cedric Brown hit him at the 45, and he fell forward to the 47-yard line. And we have 16 seconds left. Are you surprised they ran on that?
Yes. Well, they're not using their timeout. They got one timeout, and they're not using it. Now, that's wasting a couple of plays.
They sure have. They don't want to play anymore.
I don't like that.
They want to go in the clubhouse.
No, when you're behind, you've got to take a chance and put it up.
A wet football, and Hayden didn't want to take any chances. Tampa Bay on an emotional high for the moment, leading Los Angeles 21-6. Ray Malavasi and the Hayden decide to play it close and let the clock run out. That's halftime at Tampa Stadium with the score, Tampa Bay 21, the Los Angeles Rams 6. Of course, the Bears will be playing Tampa Bay next week. They're battling for the division crown.
And then the other thing, they ran the right play, a seam pass to Giles against the type of defense the Rams were using for a touchdown.
And then the Rams finally, in the rain, elected not to gamble in the last 18 seconds. And in the Ram division, San Francisco leading New Orleans 14-13 in the third. Now let's see, can Tampa Bay stay on top of the wave of emotion that is here? Can the Rams battle back? The kick by Neil O'Donoghue. And it's Drew Hill at the 5. To the 15 behind a wedge, out across the 25, dragged down at about the 28, skidded for another couple, and they'll spot it at the 32-yard line.
Now here's what you want. You're behind, you want the kickoff. You want to be on offense to score points. The first series on offense, you've heard me say this time and time again, is vital when you're behind. You've got to move that ball down and at least get a field goal.
We saw a lot of Elvis Peacock and Wendell Tyler, but they're back to the hard noses of Cullen Bryant and Lawrence McCutcheon. Denard is wide left, Jesse right.
And Hayden's going to put it up. A lot of time. And he has Charlie Young, the tight end, down at the 49-yard line, a pickup of 17 yards.
Vinny, I'm going to go back to what I said the first half. I think if Tampa gives Pat that much time, Pat went on sound, caught him off balance, went on sound. First play of the second half, smart. They're going to have to dog him, put a little more pressure, or he's going to pick them apart.
First and 10 on the Ram 49-yard line. It is 21-6, Tampa Bay. Denard in a slot right, inside Jesse. Young goes to the left side. Both backs flare, and it's a little screen to McCutcheon, and the screen breaks down, and they eat him up. It was a one-man screen, really. Saul slipped and fell down, and Danny Rysick, number 54, was trying to block, and they just can't get any traction.
Nice play by the nose man, number 77, Kohler. He put a little pressure on Pat. Selman, we might watch this. Leroy Selman's been complaining that he's being held.
David Lewis was fighting off a couple of good blocks by Rick Saul to kind of stymie the play. So they lose 2. Second and 12 on the 47. And Hayden throwing that wet pigskin deep down the field, broken up, intended for Ron Jesse.
Ron Jesse did a smart thing there. Ron Jesse saw that the ball was overthrown. See if we can see this. And Ron Jesse got his right arm up so that the defender couldn't see the ball. Now watch Ron Jesse. Right there.
That's Jarris White almost making the catch.
So the ball would not be intercepted. Good play by Jesse, shows his experience.
It is 3rd and 12 for the Rams, trying to bounce back. There you can see the third down conversions.
Pat likes the tight end in this situation. Let's see what we get here.
His tight end is Charlie Young. But he's going the other way to Denard, who is hit, and no catch. Boy, what a hard hit by Mike Washington, the 4-year man out of Alabama.
That's what defensive people love to see. He had that ball. Watch this contact. Shoulder and helmet right on the elbow and arm of the ball. Incomplete.
So Ken Clark will be punting for the Rams from about his own 37-yard line. Deep on the Buccaneer 10 is Danny Reese. Up in front of him is Tony Davis, 27, and Larry Mucker, number 87. Clark hits it over to the right, and Danny Reese on his own 7-yard line. To the 15, to the 20, to the 25, 27, flag on the play.
Clark had 4.3 hang time. Pretty good. He's improving.
That might be his best punt in a couple of weeks.
Now, this is what we're getting since we changed the rules. So many penalties. Well,
there's a clip from behind on Preston Denard.
That's bad judgment. Bad judgment. No chance at all. No matter what the rule is, you don't block like that.
Personal foul, flipping number 44 on the run back. First down.
Now 44 is Billy Cesar out of Miami U, who was a walk-on, so he's got a lot more desire, perhaps, than extra ability.
Yes,
and he was late with the lick. First and 10 from the 7-yard line for Doug Williams in Tampa Bay. Morris Owens in motion. He's picked up by Pat Thomas. And here goes Gary Eckwood. Jack Youngblood did a good job of fighting off the block by Greg Roberts. Roberts is the outstanding ball player, the rookie out of Oklahoma, number 61. And you see him coming at Jack, and Youngblood just fights off Roberts, turns it inside, and brings down his play. Marvelous play.
That's one of the reasons their offensive line has improved. And that's one of the areas where they really had to improve in that offensive line. They've made some good selections, and the players are coming through.
So they picked up a long 5, almost 5 yards. They're going to make it 2nd and 6, spotted on about the 11. Second man is Eckwood. Nowhere.
Well, I formation. This is their big set, has been. Tailback carry the ball. Switch blocking. Nobody really moved.
Jimmy Giles, a tight end, kind of hooked Jack Youngblood right into the play. And there's Ray Malavasi talking to Pat Hayden.
Now, this is the first series for the Ram defense. When you're behind, the first series on offense, first series on defense.
3rd and 7 on the Buccaneer 11-yard line. Hagen's wide left, Owens right, Giles on the right side. Quick low, no good to Hagen.
Well, Williams had the right play. They had a safety blitz. The Rams defense, now we're going to see the Rams defense go all out with weak safety dogs, strong safety dogs to try to get a turnover, try to get a big play. Now, Williams had the right play. He just threw the ball, hurried himself, threw the ball into the ground.
Another thing, when that ball went into the ground, it splashed. So even though the field looks in good shape and there's even a glimmer of sunshine, it is soggy wet. Tom Blanchett from the end zone, Eddie Brown all alone on the Tampa Bay 47-yard line. Blanchett gets it away, and retreating is Brown to his own 44, and watch him splash now. He got away from 3 men before he was finally brought down by Danny Reese at the 40-yard line. A marvelous run considering the fact. And there is number 46, Danny Reese. Here's a look at Eddie Brown.
Eddie Brown, good technique on catching the ball, runs well on a wet field.
Everybody in Tampa cares about the Tampa Bay Bucs beating the Rams, but not everybody. If you're a golfer, you care about next week, the World Series of Golf. Commissioner Dean Beeman refers to it as the logical conclusion of the PGA Tour. And it'll be right here on CBS next Saturday at 3:30, Sunday at 4 Eastern Time. The Rams have it 1st and 10 on their own 41. It's 21-6 Tampa Bay. The running backs are McCutcheon and Bryant, and Hayden going to screen to McCutcheon on the right side, but the whole screen is Tampa Bay. Lewis, Cotney, and Chambers were all over there.
This is what we call a Brown set offensively. Hayden wanted to go downfield, and he dumps it off to the second back, which is number 30, McCutcheon. Look at this pursuit. Inside, outside, no chance. Beautiful defense by Tampa.
Chambers, Lewis, and then the strong safety, Mark Cotney, just to make sure. So they lose back to the 40-yard line, just a loss of 1. We're at 2nd and 11. In motion is Ron Jesse. Hayden to Cullen Bryant. They try the left side. And a marvelous play by number 56, who had been outnumbered, and that's Cecil Johnson, the rookie from Pittsburgh.
Denny, I'll tell you one thing. Thrown to your backs is good football. Percentage-wise, you get a lot of completions, but those backs take a pounding. And watch this.
That's Cecil Johnson, number 56, who does not go for John Williams' block. Look at that. He's one of 11 children, so he's accustomed to crowds, even though he was overlooked in the draft. Quite a play. So that makes it 3rd and 11 from the 40.
That was Bill Kohler in on that tackle. 77, the nose man.
Hayden again looking for Bryant, and he's got Bryant at the 43-yard line, but so had the Bucs at the 47. All passes to the back.
They forced him to throw short 3 times. Standing ovation for the defense.
So every time Hayden went to a back, there was at least 2 men to contain him. That strong safety, Mark Cotney, number 33, to bring him down. And the Buck fans really got the fever now. It's 4th and 4 on the Ram 47, and Ken Clark will be kicking from his 35. Danny Reese is deep on the Tampa 10. A bad snap, but he got it away. It is handled by Tony Davis at the 30, and he'll be wrestled to the ground and buried back at the 25, fumbling long after the whistle.
Benny, Tony Davis showed me something there. Good judgment. That ball would have bounced and probably gone dead about in the 5-yard line.
Ken Clark juggling a wet hog. And Buccaneers on their own 30-yard line. Tampa Bay leading 21-6. 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. It's Jerry Eckwood to the 35, to the 30. Nolan Cromwell bringing him down at the 40-yard line.
High formation, flip to the tailback to the tight end side. That play almost broke all the way.
Cromwell, with his speed, made the tackle.
The Rams sputtering offensively.
Now what's this?
As Eckwood moves, and you saw Ferragamo taking it all in.
Turn it up inside. Now watch Cromwell make the play right here. Just grabbed him by his shirt.
And it was just enough for a first down for Jerry Eckwood. 1st and 10 on the Tampa Bay 40. Eckwood is on a wing, Bell all alone. Eckwood in motion to the right. A rush by Youngblood, and it's a clean drop to the tight end, Jimmy Giles.
That looked like it was going to develop.
There you see Vince Ferragamo holding the ball and biding his time along with Lawrence McCutcheon. 21-6, and remember the Rams' 6 points was an interception and a 31-yard run by Jim Youngblood. Hayden is 13 for 22 for 64 yards, and that's all.
The reason Giles dropped that ball, it was a floater. Just trickled off his finger.
2nd and 10 on the Tampa Bay 40. Hagan's left. Owens right. Owens in motion. A draw to Jerry Eckwood, and he spins to the 45, but he left the ball behind him. And it looks like the Rams have recovered, and of course that wet football will be more dangerous as the afternoon progresses.
We'll probably see more of that. That's the first big break.
Covered by Eddie Brown.
The last man to get up was Eddie Brown. There's Eckwood being hit, and then he left it behind him, and Eddie Brown diving in, rolled over and recovered it.
Eddie Brown makes a lot of big plays. He's always in the right spot. Now, the Rams offense has to take advantage of this field position.
So Pat Hayden has it 1st and 10 on the Tampa Bay 40, pitching to Elvis Peacock, and Peacock spins away from Wood, gets to the 35 and falls forward. Richard Wood had him behind the line of scrimmage, and Elvis Peacock was able to spin away from the tackle and convert it into a plus.
You know what Peacock has? Peacock has size and power and speed, and he also has some elusiveness. Sometimes you don't get all 3 of those characteristics in a running back.
He picked up 7 to make it 2nd and 3 from the 33. Elvis Peacock across the 30-yard line. Danny Reisig trying to open up a hole for him. And that's enough for the first down. So earlier, at the very outset of the game, if you remember, Eckwood could have been a goat when he fumbled on the 3rd play for Tampa Bay, but the Rams couldn't cash it in from the Buccaneer 39. Now Eckwood fumbles on the Buccaneer 40, and the Rams trying to cash it in. And look at the turnovers. The Rams fumbling once, that was Lawrence McCutcheon. The Bucs twice, that's Jerry Eckwood. Hayden rushed by Richard Wood. Gets it away, no good. He threw it out of bounds. Terry Nelson was triple teamed, so he just made sure it wasn't intercepted.
Smart play by Pat. They dogged him, and the first man missed the tackle, and he just put it up out of bounds where it's safe.
That was Richard Wood, 5 years out of SC, who came in to dog from the right side.
That's what they're going to have to do to get the rush. They're not getting a rush with 3 men. They're going to have to mix in dogs. The Rams are going to have to pick them up because the Rams are going to have to throw to come from behind.
Ray Malavasi with a look as if to say, I've been patient long enough. 2nd and 10 on the 30. And it's a draw to Elvis Peacock, and he is caught up nicely, and a big clutch play it was indeed by Dewey Selman, number 58. Peacock might very well have broken that one. You'll see 58 on the left side, reach down over a block. See him? And he'll upend Peacock. Otherwise, he was wide open.
Nice defensive play. Now here we have a situation 3rd and 6. Pat likes to sprint out here to get away from the rush, get away from the dogs. Let's see what he does.
3rd and 6 from the 25. Hayden sets back deep, throwing over the head of Terry Nelson, the intended receiver. The strong safety, Mark Cotney, was right there defending.
He hurried his throw on that one.
So Hayden now has completed 13 of 24, but I can think of 4 to his backs that didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
So he is playing catch is about all. 4th and 6 from the 25. Ray Malavasi with the towering Wilkinson standing back of him, along with Bob Brzezinski and Bill Dunston. Dunston hollering, come on, offense. Charlie Young.
Rams we're short a man here. So it is 3rd and 6 on the 25. And Hayden over the middle, off the hands of Terry Nelson.
Same play, same identical play, almost a repetition. The ball was high, a delivery sack. Now he's open. He's open.
And the ball is wet.
Pat had a delivery sack on him.
So it's an uphill drive on a muddy road for the Rams. Tampa Bay 21, Los Angeles 6. 16 Canoe Kayak World Championships from Quebec. All the excitement of a whitewater sport on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Ray Malavasi and Pat Hayden finding it somewhat discouraging in the muck here in Tampa. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers on their own 25. Tampa Bay leading 21-6. Pitch back to Bell, and he gets out to the 25-yard line. Ricky pulled down from behind by Jack Reynolds.
Well, they're running that same play to the tight end side. A quick toss to the tailback, and the tight end blocks down on Youngblood, Jack Youngblood, and then the back usually cuts inside. This time the Rams defense did better.
George, a question. When the Rams were struggling, was there any reason to keep passing? Do you think a field goal might have helped out?
42 yards isn't too far for Frank.
Except for the wet ground today. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Williams on a quick out to Higgins, and Higgins is wrapped up by Pat Thomas and thrown away. That Thomas is remarkable because he handles people as if he is a big man, and he's only 5'9".
Thomas is an all-pro, and he's smart, doesn't make mistakes. Now, I'm surprised they keep throwing on Pat's side. You've got Osteen over there, who's practically a rookie, didn't play much last year. You should work on him rather than Pat. Nobody's going to handle Pat. Nobody in this league.
So it's 3rd and 6 on the Tampa Bay 29, and of course the Ram defense asked to stiffen, hold the Bucs, and get the ball back for the offense. You can see Doug Williams' numbers. Here comes Eckwood, but Jack Youngblood able to fight and make the tackle at the 30-yard line.
You know what Eckwood did that time? Shows me something. He put 2 hands on the ball. See if we can see it as he's about to get hit here.
Hey, why not? He's fumbled twice today.
Right.
If he doesn't put 2 hands on it today, he never will, George.
And that's what you have to do on a wet field. 2 hands on that football.
4th and 5 on the 30-yard line. So Tom Blanchard will be punting to Eddie Brown. Brown is on the Ram 30-yard line. Rams are not coming, and Blanchard arrows one to the 25, and Eddie Brown backs to the 24. Knocked down by Nafziger, a clip against Kevin McClain, I think.
Well,
Kevin McClain trying to come back.
Yeah.
Number 50, and you will see him hit Billy Caesar. Then Nafziger, number 51, came over, but the play has to involve McClain and Caesar, and we'll see who's guilty. Looked like a clip. Rysick indicating as if it was offsetting penalties there, so we'll see.
Yes.
Personal foul. Personal foul clip. That would be the McClain part. Jerry Markwright is not finished yet.
The Rams had a penalty, then a Tampa player slapped a Ram player in the helmet. I couldn't see who it was. Took a little punch at him.
It was Caesar who slapped McClain back after being clipped. So a lull in the storm at Tampa Bay. We have 4 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the third. Tampa Bay 21, the Rams 6, and the big story, the Rams' inability to move the ball. Now, Jerry Markwright will tell us what's going on.
Personal foul, clipping, number 50, on the run back.
Kevin McClain.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 44.
The man who was
on
clipped.
the run back.
Rick Caesar, Billy Caesar.
After possession change, the ball belongs to the receiving team at the spot of their foul. First down.
Yeah.
So, as we said, Dan Rysick said they were offsetting, and there were the people involved. Cesar flipped by McLean, and Cesar hits McLean, and so the Rams have the ball. But Tampa has the lead, 21-6. How to catch a wet football.
One of the best, making a basket, elbows in, the ball nestles right into his chest, puts it away, one leg forward. Perfect technique.
Now live, 1st and 10 on the Ram 21. Jesse in motion left. Elvis Peacock gets out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. On top of him, linebacker Richard Wood. Hayden so far 13 for 25, only 64 yards, and what Pat has to do, George, is get this ball club up.
He's got to throw downfield, and Vinny, the other thing, he is only 4 of 13 on third down conversion. 4 of 13.
Well, he has a 2nd and 4 on his own 27-yard line. Pitch back to Wendell Tyler. And Tyler just keeps breaking tackles. What a run. Finally, Mark Cotney, the tight end, brought him down. The fellow who messed up the start of the play was Richard Wood.
Well, he played it perfectly. Tampa's linebackers are very mobile. They're well coached, well drilled. Now, Tyler is the type of guy that can turn a broken play into a long gainer, and you don't tackle him with the arm, see.
As Brown would justify, and finally the hardest hitter, Cotney, brings him down. And look at those mud puddles. It's 1st and 10 from the 33. Big run by Elvis Peacock. Play action fake to Tyler. Hayden deep through the arms of Billy Waddy. No good.
Well, the game is going to come down to pass rush, pass defense.
The Rams, too, must be missing Willie Miller. He meant a lot to them.
Yes, Willie Miller was a steady, consistent football player. They also missed another guy, John Capoletti. Capoletti was in the mold of the leadership I'm talking about, like Bill Simpson and Dave Elmendorf and Tom Mack. You can't replace people like that.
Elvis Peacock is the leading Ram runner for 34 yards and 5 carries. 2nd and 10 from the 33. And Leroy Selman. Leroy Selman, number 63, and Doug France.
Now, from a defensive standpoint, he's guessing. Leroy's guessing. There's no excuse from that. Nothing drew him offside. He's playing pass too much.
There's Leroy at the very bottom. See him moving, and now he tries to run around France, who never moves.
And you know what he's doing, Vinny? He's listening to Pat's cadence rather watching the ball and the offensive man. He's listening to his voice.
Number 63, defense, 2nd down.
So 2nd and 5 on the 38-yard line. Tight end Charlie Young waiting his turn to get his hands on the ball. Terry Nelson is in there at tight end, and Nelson is on the right side with Jesse. Denard is left. Wendell Tyler, and it was Dewey Selman, number 58, who hit him immediately. Dewey, who is 11 months older than Leroy, 4 years out of Oklahoma. What a marvelous ball player he is, and among other things, he was academic All-American. So the Selman boys, are they ever famous first out of Oklahoma? And there's Dewey, and now, of course, the big men at Tampa Bay.
25 is in Jordan. We got another 3rd down situation, 3rd and 5. Let's see what the Rams do.
3rd and 5 on the Ram 38-yard line. 2 minutes and 1 second left in the 3rd. Hayden over the left side, off the hands of Billy Waddy.
Hayden, they had a safety blitz. Pat read it, hurried his throw, and threw it behind Waddy.
And Waddy suffered as Washington, number 40, hit him hard.
There it is. He throws the ball behind him.
He was sandwiched in between Dewey Selman and Mike Washington. So Waddy is out of there, and now the Rams are forced to kick from a 4th and 5 on their own 38. Ken Clark kicking from his own 25. Danny Reese, the deep man, with Tony Davis and Larry Mucker up in front of him. A low snap, and he gets it away. And a pretty good kick this time. It'll be Reese at the 22, and he gets across the 25. Drew Hill and Eddie Hill were hitting him to bring him down. Monday night on CBS, a great lineup. White Shadow, Charges of Racism. Then MASH with Hot Lips, A Spy. And WKRP in Cincinnati. Finally, Lou Grant. All coming up Monday night right here on CBS.
Good coverage in that last kick. Only 4.0 hang time.
Yeah, both Drew Hill and Eddie Hill can fly down there under those punts. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneers 27. They lead 21-6. A minute and 43 left in the third quarter. Here goes Ricky Bell and Jim Youngblood along with Dave Elmendorf. Time up at the 25. And a somewhat worried Ray Malavasi. And he has to be a worried coach now. 1:30 left in the third. A wet football, a slow track, and he's trailing 21-6.
Tampa's still running to the tight end side from the I formation. It looks like the Ram defense will have to make a big play to turn this game around.
2nd and 10 on the Buccaneers 27. Bell and Eckwood doing all the work behind Williams. Play action fake to Eckwood, and Williams pumping over the middle, no good. Intended for Morris Owens, and Dave Elmendorf, the strong safety right there. And look at Doug Williams.
Chuck, watch this now. Watch this. Here's what we call a delivery sack. Now watch the rush. Watch Youngblood. And the top of your frame Dreyer coming in.
Ooh.
Right there.
A legitimate hit. He just hit him hard on right into the stomach.
I think it's just his wind. I don't think he's injured seriously. We hope not.
If you remember, Doug Williams in the first quarter of the last meeting last year suffered a broken jaw. Although it has been asked and the question answered, there is no feeling at all of revenge down here.
No, when he threw the ball, he left himself exposed, and Fred hit him right in the guts with his helmet and shoulder.
The backup man is Mike Ray, and it was Mike Ray who had the big day last year. He totaled 218 yards against the Rams with 2 touchdown passes. In fact, Ray rushed for 95 yards. So if Williams is going to take a breather, Ray at least has been to the wars, and he's going in. So Williams, walking off under his own power, took a helmet in the stomach, and we would assume that he is all right after a brief respite. And Mike Ray will go to the controls. Ray, 4 years out of USC.
3rd and 10.
Originally an 8th-round draft choice for Oakland in '73. 3rd and 10 from the 27. Second man is Eckwood. I'll tell you another problem, George, for all these fellas. We were just watching Greg Roberts, the guard on the right side, pull, and it was as if he was on roller skates. He had no way to plant himself to throw a block.
No traction. And by the way, that was a smart call by John McKay. You've got a new quarterback in there. Don't have him put it up. Run your soundest play and keep the clock going and punt the football. Don't take a chance.
The clock shows 12 seconds left to go in the half. And 17 seconds on the clock, so they have plenty of time. Eddie Brown backing up on his 23-yard line. The Rams trying to set up on the right side, but Knapziger brings him down as he gets to the 32-yard line. Dana Knapziger making the tackle. He's 3 years out of Cal Poly. He went to Western High School in Anaheim, did Mr. Knapziger. So the third quarter is history. Tampa Bay 21, the Rams 6. We pause for a word from your local station. 1st and 10 for the Rams on their own 32, the start of the fourth quarter, and boy, what a big assignment they have. They're down by 15 points, and they have the fourth quarter left on a very slow track with a wet football.
Well, Vinny, they have to go deep.
Ferragamo is at quarterback. Elvis Peacock and Wendell Tyler are the running back. And Ferragamo's first play of the day, he's eaten up and fumbled, but he fell on his own ball. It was Leroy Selman who sacked him as he ran over John Williams.
He had a deep pass called. He's going to throw deep. They had a pretty good rush on him. He almost fumbled the ball, and he fell on his own ball.
So Leroy Selman right there to eat him up, and Pat Hayden hoping that maybe Ferragamo can get the machine going. It's been stalled all day. Remember, the only Ram points, 6 for Jim Youngblood, a 31-yard touchdown pass interception of Doug Williams. Otherwise, the Ram offense, look, Hayden has passed for only 64 yards. So Ferragamo on his second call from the 23, and a draw to Elvis Peacock. And he's upended at the 35 by Cedric Brown.
Now, Vinny, that was a great call. Just a great call. They were in the nickel defense, 5 defensive backs. He got a natural hole through there with a 3-man line. That'll take the pressure off on some of the passes coming down the line.
But he still has another big play as Cedric Brown upends Elvis Peacock. The ball on the 36-yard line. It is 3rd and 7 for Ferragamo. Kohler leaped over him, and the pass no good. Bill Kohler leaped so high he went right on by Ferragamo. And there you can see the defense, David Lewis.
Yeah, they got a dog. They dogged him. And he stepped up here. Nice play. Stepped up and ducked. Almost interference.
That's right. David Lewis was right on top of him, but the pass broken up. And so Ken Clark has to give it up with 14-11. Danny Reese standing on his own 18-yard line. Up in front of him is Tony Davis on the 40. A good snap with a wet ball, but a low kick. Reese takes it at the 19, and he's going to be dragged down, but Drew Hill, but he gives the ball off to Tony Davis, and Davis goes down, and boy, what a dangerous play that is.
That's scary. That's real risky. You don't take chances like that on a wet field.
So they're risky and they're frisky, and Tampa Bay is leading 21-6. 13:57 left in the game, 21-6 Tampa Bay. Doug Williams is back in at quarterback. He has Johnny Davis and Ricky Bell, and Davis usually does the blocking. Second man is Bell behind Davis, and he's out there to the 30, to the 34-yard line. Well, so Ricky Bell following Johnny Davis and makes a big move.
Running to the tight end side from the I formation. Good blocking. That offensive line of Tampa's is most improved. The last time I saw Tampa play.
Johnny Davis took care of Jim Youngblood, and Jack Reynolds was taken out from the side and then opened the door for Ricky Bell.
Good leg drive by Ricky Bell.
He has carried for 48 yards, Eckwood for 52. 1st and 10 on the 35 for Tampa Bay. Eckwood is back in there. And he is dragged down by Jack Youngblood as he goes across the 35 to the 37-yard line. A couple of scores for you. Miami 31, Chicago 9, and of course their defeat really helps things along for Tampa Bay. New Orleans leading San Francisco 27-14. They're trying to capitalize on the Rams' misfortune.
2 winless teams.
Philadelphia beating the Giants 17-6. 34-31, Seattle leading Denver. 2nd and 8 from the 37. Bell following Davis again. And this time Eddie Brown meets him head on and drives him back. Johnny Davis is an unsung hero. He's a 2-year man out of Alabama, number 38. He's the one in there trying to block. They call him Bull. He's a singer with a gospel quartet and a piano player, and he's a hard-working football player.
And the Rams are under-shifting to try to stop that running game to the tight end side, and Tampa's still making it work. Now we have 3rd and 5.
Ball just shy of the 40-yard line. Eckwood is the tailback behind Bell. And it's Eckwood, grabbed down from behind by Osteen, and there's a flag on the play. Dwayne Osteen, number 33, slanted in to get him, but let's wait. A holding penalty against Tampa Bay.
And Tampa's only 2 of 11 on 3rd down conversions.
Well, they came in here second to Kansas City as worst in the league as far as third down conversions, and they have lived up to that.
Kansas City must have made some third down plays today.
64, offense declined, fourth down.
The holding is against the ex-Ram, Greg Horton.
And Greg has done a fine job for him. I'm glad to see him get a job down here. He was a good football player, a hard worker.
Tom Blanchard will be kicking to Eddie Brown. Blanchard from the 30, Brown on his 30.
Punt block. Looks like they're going to try to block it.
Aaron Brown is back there to pick up any strays on a long count. It's a tough snap. Nobody can get in. Eddie Brown retreating to his 10-yard line. Out of bounds. Aaron Brown, the ever-present number 55, who was in the backfield to block, is the man who now helps Eddie Brown to his feet. Boy, he is something. Another guy you should know about.
They faked the punt block that time and set up a return.
11:35 left in the game. Tampa Bay 21-6. Big day up to here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lead the Rams 21-6. Vince Ferragamo is back in at quarterback for Ray Malavasi. 11:35 left and 20 seconds left on the 30-second clock. Slot left, Waddy inside Denard. Charlie Young, the tight end, on the right side. The pass is to Wendell Tyler, and he can't hold on to it.
Well, Benny, this is the first 30-second clock that's worked in 4 weeks.
Ray Malavasi, nothing seems to work.
Well, Wendell is not the best receiver. Wendell is improving his receiving. A wet ball throwing fairly hard is tough on him. Ferragamo is going to go deep. He's going to go for the bomb. He has to in this situation.
A very discouraging day for Pat Hayden. He passed for a total of only 64 yards. So that's one reason why Ferragamo was in there with 11 and a half left in the game. Ferragamo to Wendell Tyler, and they scissor him at the 25-yard line. Johnson and Dewey Salmon bringing him down.
They can give them all those short passes all afternoon. They aren't going to beat the Bucs throwing 5, 6, 7-yard passes.
As far as the Ram running game is concerned, Tyler 5 for 33, Bryant 4 for 15, and Peacock 6 for 47 yards. Cullen Bryant and Lawrence McCutcheon have not had too much of a chance to gain any yardage. And it's caught by Preston Denard, and Washington takes him out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Now, two things happen. Ferragamo read the defense very well. He's got excellent protection. They're just rushing with 3 men, so you got 2 men all along the line with the help of the backs, and he drills that in there.
That was almost intercepted at the same time. Cedric Brown almost had it, but Denard wrestled out by Mike Washington.
What we should watch for is Ferragamo and Denard work well together. They got good teamwork.
Here's Charlie Young, who was also free, hollering for the football, but it's enough. And the Rams trying to make a move, 1st and 10 on their own 42. Second man is Wendell Tyler. Fumbles! Tampa Bay recovered. Mark Cotney, the strong safety, fell on it. The hit was made by Wally Chambers.
Well, let's see it again.
You'll see Chambers, number 60, make the tackle. Well, look, here comes 60. Bingo, there goes the ball. Here comes double threes. Mark Cotney, the strong safety.
Wendell, we talked about Wendell waving that football around and not protecting it. He's got it on the wrong side. This could turn the game around now. The Rams had to put some points on the board. Bucs defense has forced 15 fumbles and recovered 10.
And 2 today, Lawrence McCutcheon and Wendell Tyler. And this is Ricky Bell. and he goes nowhere back at his 46-yard line. Jack Reynolds wrestling them down. There have been 4 fumbles in the game. Jerry Eckwood has fumbled twice for Tampa Bay. Lawrence McCutcheon fumbled once, and that led to a touchdown for the Bucs. And now, of course, the fumble by Wendell Tyler. Only 10 minutes left, and the Rams are down by 15 points. And for the Los Angeles Rams, as you see, Freddie Dreyer, among others, they have been together for a long time, and the young Bucs are rearing up and trying to beat them today. And Williams throwing the ball anyway, and the catch is made out of bounds. No catch. Well, the receiver is Isaac Hagan.
He had him open. It was just a matter of throwing the ball to keep him in bounds. He throws a line drive. No chance. Look for the Rams defense to gamble here, go for a safety blitz, to force a fumble and turn this game around.
So the Rams, the hard noses up front. Larry Brooks, 8 years out of Virginia State in Petersburg, coming off knee surgery last year in a tough day in the clinches. 3rd and 14 from the 47, and it's a blitz. The pass intended for Mucker, but Williams had both Eddie Miller.
It was just what we said. They went safety dog, safety blitz. Williams read it. Now, sometimes the receiver doesn't realize he has to look right away. He can't get open. He's got to look before he gets open. He was open for a completion.
That was Larry Mucker, who caught a 15-yard pass for a touchdown earlier in the game. So with 9:42 left, 21-6 Tampa Bay, Tom Blanchard will punt once again to Eddie Brown. Brown standing on the Ram 15-yard line.
Now they got everybody up, 10 men up.
Well, the Ram offense hasn't been able to do it, and the defense now trying to get in and see if they can't smother the punt. Aaron Brown is back to block, and they can't get through. Eddie Brown taking it on the 6. Mucker can't get him, but 3 of his mates do, and Mucker's one of them. Mucker, number 87, couldn't get him the first time, and you talk about great pursuit. He went back along with Cesar and pulled him down.
They're really fired up. One guy we didn't mention was Cody Jones. The Rams miss him. He was a fine football player and a solid citizen.
And that could be another bad blow for the Rams if that's Eddie Brown down. Eddie Brown, it might be Eddie. I'm not sure whether it was Brown or someone blocking for him.
Well, he didn't have a chance. 2 or 3 men hit him on it. There was very little blocking.
So we have 9.5 minutes left here at Tampa Stadium. The Bucs are leading the Rams 21-6, and don't forget tonight, 60 Minutes, be sure to watch the new exclusive interview with Johnny Carson. Then Archie Bunker's Place gets a new partner, Martin Bolson. And guest star Telly Savalas joins Alice. And then the Jeffersons are back with a big surprise. And Pernell Roberts stars as Trapper John tonight. That'll be after football and, of course, on the regular time on the West Coast.
Here's the final. Miami 31, Chicago Bears 16. So Tampa can take over first place if they can hang on.
1st and 10 on the Ram 11. Ferragamo in there again, and he has Peacock and Tyler. Waddy is right. Denard goes left. Chambers slips and he can't get in. Ferragamo going deep, and it is intercepted by Jarris White, and White is down. They're going to rule that he's down at the 42-yard line, I thought, but he is still scrambling. Jarris White and Preston Denard pulled him down at the 18.
No, he went down with his own momentum.
Right. And for a moment, we thought one of the officials had stood and marked the spot, but Jarris White kept on going.
Now, it looked like the receiver and Ferragamo weren't together. The ball was thrown.
That's Waddy.
Over Waddy's right shoulder, and he was looking to the left, and by the time he made the adjustment, and notice blocking back on the intended receiver.
You see the way the official stood there, I thought he was marking the ball, but Jarris White was off to the races.
He thought about calling it.
Yeah. So Jarris White, 6 years out of the University of Hawaii, makes a critical interception with 9 minutes left. 1st and 10 on the Ram 18, and the Bucs go slot left. Williams in the end zone. No good. Low and hard, intended for tight end Jimmy Giles, who caught one in the first half.
Same play, seam pattern to the tight end, Giles. He was open, but Williams just drills it right in there.
Well, we saw Pat Hayden. We saw Vince Ferragamo. There's a picture of Jeff Rutledge, the rookie out of Alabama, who broke Joe Namath's records in college. It's been that kind of a day for the Rams, and it is raining again.
And by the way, that was a good first down call.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 18. In motion is Eckwood. Pitch back to Bell. Grabbed by Jim Youngblood. Gets out of Jim Youngblood, and Bob Brzezinski brings him down at about the 17-yard line. They might have picked up one, and the going is really getting slippery now in the rain. If one picture is worth 1,000 words, here's a good 1,000.
Here comes 38 in. They've used him for blocking practically the entire ball game.
Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis. Let's watch Johnny Davis. See what he does in this play. 38.
They split the backs in the pro set, and it'll be Bell following Johnny, but he never got a chance to catch up to him. And it is pouring now as Jack Youngblood made the tackle. And as Doug Williams and Tampa Bay come off, they did not capitalize on that big interception by Jarris White. But the Rams now are fighting the Buccaneers, the clock, and the weather.
You know, Vinny, what we used to like to do in this situation is fake the field goal if it were there. Fake the field goal.
Neil O'Donoghue from the 22, a 32-yard field goal. He missed all three last week against the Packers. And it's blocked. Well, Kevin McClain falling on top of the Buccaneers. It was Blanchard, the holder, who recovered the block.
The holder fumbled the snap. Watch that. A little bit slow in putting it down, and it was a line drive.
And there comes Pat Thomas. And then as the ball squirts, Blanchard will fall on it, and then McClain will fall on top of Roberts. So with 7:39 left to go in the game, 21-6, Tampa Bay. Sideline of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading 21-6, 7:39 left in the game. The Rams put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 25. Vince Ferragamo, the quarterback, with Tyler and Peacock behind him. Play action fake to Tyler. Ferragamo to Charlie Young, the tight end, and he's brought down by Johnson as he crossed the 35. Enough for the first down, but the Rams need a lot more than first down.
Yes, they do, Vinny. That's a crossing pattern off a play action to the tight end. It's difficult to cover. The weak side linebacker, the backside linebacker, usually has to cover that, and he does. He makes the tackle. They threw it in front of him.
So 1st and 10 on the Rams 36. Denard is wide left. Giuliani wide right. There goes Wendell Tyler, and he ran into Richard Wood, fumbled the ball, and they squirmed for that wet pigskin. Tampa Bay recovers. And that picture tells an awful lot. Take another look. Wendell Tyler carrying the ball loosely again, ran into Richard Wood, spun off Wood, and you see Selman.
Yeah.
It was Leroy Selman who knocked it out of his arm.
Selman went for the ball, went for the elbow, and jarred it loose.
The last time that Tyler fumbled, it was Wally Chambers who knocked it loose. And there's a player hurt. It is Wendell Tyler, and it is his right knee, I believe. There you have it.
Right.
3 fumbles by the Rams, 1 by McCutcheon, 2 by Tyler, 1 interception for a touchdown by Jim Youngblood, 2 fumbles by the Bucs, Jerry Eckwood, 1 interception net by Jarris White. And Wendell Tyler evidently twisting that right knee, and we certainly hope it is only a twist. Coming off knee surgery, remember. The NFL on CBS, these games next Sunday, Minnesota, Detroit, the Giants and New Orleans, Washington versus Atlanta. Tampa Bay and the Bears, St. Louis and the Rams, San Francisco and San Diego. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. Don't forget, all the action begins with the NFL today. And what a terrible break for Wendell Tyler and the Rams.
The Rams defense have to take chances, gamble, go for the ball, try to turn something over.
Mike Fanning with a look as if time has run out. There's 6:50 left. Johnny Davis in there to block for Ricky Bell. And there goes Bell the other way. He left Davis and crossed the 40. Got to about the 39. So a little misdirection. Every time you see Davis, you know he's blocking. Another fellow who has been to the wars. 9 years out of Florida, the defensive captain who wants to lead the Rams to the Super Bowl and sees a very disappointing day coming to an end here at Tampa with 6:28 left.
Offensively, all you want to do is not make mistakes and keep the clock running.
2nd and 7 on the Rams 39. And Williams going to put it up. Down the middle, off the hands of Giles.
See,
so Jimmy Giles, a tight end in that seam again.
Yeah, Vinny, the thing is, Giles dropped that ball, but Williams throws the ball so hard. There are times when you got to let up on it and lay it in there, and he throws everything about 90 miles an hour. Now, he'll get that. That pass should have been completed even in this type of weather, but he threw it so hard that the receiver didn't have a chance.
Number 53, the one bright spot for the Rams defensively as far as points are concerned, Jim Youngblood. Ran 31 yards for a touchdown, intercepting Doug Williams, but those are the only points the Rams have. 3rd and 7 from the 39. Morris Owens in motion to the right. On a draw, it's Jerry Eckwood spinning and holding on to the ball as he gets to the 35. Remember, he fumbled twice today. 5:58, and how frustrating it is now for the Rams. Everything has gone against them.
I would think they'd have to go for a punt block here. Time's running out.
And for Tampa Bay, a dream come true. A franchise that lost its first 26. A franchise, well, a few years ago, it showed a baby in diapers, and the baby has grown up. Franchise was shut out 11 times. They had 2 wins at the end of 77, 5 wins last year, losing 4 in the last minute of play last year, and they have come of age today. A bad snap. He still doesn't kick away. So the Rams will take it over 1st and 10 on their own 20. A pretty good play by Tom Blanchard, who's a pro.
Yeah, Blanchard's hit here, a bad snap. That's why you want to go for a punt block in this weather, because you're going to get a bad snap and get the extra rush.
9 years in the league, he was able to get it away. Of it, 5:19 left in the game. The Bucs leading the Rams 21-6. And the Rams put it in play on the touchback. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Vince Ferragamo. And he goes slot right. Denard inside Waddy. Eddie Hill is in the backfield now with Elvis Peacock. Ferragamo trying to set up a screen, drops the ball and falls on top of it. Bill Kohler along with Leroy Selman. And what a job they've done on the Ram quarterback all day.
Kohler is really an addition to this ball club. They got 2 men on him, and he splits them, and look at him get his hands up, see, so he can't dump it over.
Kohler is 6'4". He was a first-round draft choice by Cincinnati back in '73, and he had a foot injury, and that's when Tampa Bay picked him up.
Kohler, Randy Crowder, and Chambers, Wally Chambers, have really made this defensive line.
And the Rams know all about it now. The ball is back on the 8-yard line. Ferragamo just unloads it, and it's Eddie Hill slipping and sliding, and down he goes. You just can't get any traction. Richard Wood, number 54, just threw a block at him to bring him down. And for Ray Malavasi, who has been through the wars, I think the feeling seeps in like rain on wet shoes.
Well,
time's running out.
That's one of the reasons when you're playing a football game on a bad weather, foul weather, it's important to get ahead early, because as the game goes on, the playing field gets torn up. You have less and less chance to execute on offense.
And as we said, the Rams, Nolan Cromwell, recovered a Jerry Eckwood fumble. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneers 39 at the start of the game. It's 3rd and 22 from the 8. Ferragamo to Denard, and it's out of the hands of Mike Washington, otherwise an interception. But let's get back to that first big break. I think if Cromwell, having recovered Eckwood's fumble, the Ram offense at 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 39. If they had scored, it might have been a different ballgame.
You got to get the attitude. Hey, this is the first break of the game. We got to take advantage of it. We got to get at least 3 points. Instead, they didn't even make a first down.
And then Tampa Bay's defense said, hey, we can hold this club. The offense was buoyed up, and they went on to pile up this 21-6 lead. Ferragamo telling everybody one thing we all know, how slippery the ball is. 4th and 22. Ken Clark kicking from the end zone. Danny Reese all alone on his 45. Danny Reese backing up on his own 37. Flipping and sliding and still going all the way to the 45-yard line.
Danny Reese showed something there. Don't run laterally on a wet field. Go straight ahead. A nice return of about 12 yards.
Danny Reese went to USC. He also went to Banning High School. When he was at USC, Danny had 18 career interceptions. And he was a third-round draft choice of Cincinnati. So McKay never forgot some of those players, and he picked up some discards, and it really helped him. 3:39 left in the game. 1st and 10 on the Ram 46. Johnny Davis in there blocking back for Ricky Bell. Only Davis is going to carry. That surprises everybody, and he has almost a first down.
Smart football. You put him in there to block. Just give him the ball enough as a change of pace. That's what John used to do at SC.
In the middle of the Ram defense, Jack Reynolds, 10 years out of Tennessee. The quarterback on the Ram defense that was 2nd against the rush, 1st against the pass, and is going to lose today with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Buccaneers 21 and the Rams 6. 2nd and 12 on the 37. And now they move it to within inches for a first down. Not 2nd and 12, 2nd and 1 after that big run by Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis grabbed by Reynolds, first down.
And the other good thing about Johnny Davis, he's got 2 hands on that football. He looks like he's a sure ball handler.
I don't know whether they're rewarding Johnny Davis for all his hard blocking all day, but they have now given him the ball 2 straight carries for a first down.
And again, straight ahead, going right at him. I like their game plan today. You aren't going to fool the Rams or make a lot of yards going wide on the Rams.
You're not going to fool this Ram defense either. They know time has just about run out. 2 minutes and 18 seconds, 21-6 Tampa Bay. 1st and 10 from the 30. This time it's Bell with Davis blocking, and he got to the 25 before being pushed back. Ricky Bell has been a workhorse along with Eckwood. Eckwood has carried 22 times for 59 yards. Bell 14 carries for 57 yards. And then Davis has carried for 12. But it's been Eckwood and Bell all day. You might be wondering about the Rams on the ground. Hayden ran once for 6. McCutcheon carried 8 times for 9 yards. Bryant carried 4 times for 15 yards. Tyler, 7 carries for 43 yards and then suffered a knee injury, and we certainly hope it's not serious. Peacock, 6 carries for 47. They also tried, the Rams, an end around with the tight end Terry Nelson, and it kind of summed up the Rams' day. That end around lost 10 yards.
This game lets everybody know that Tampa has arrived.
Remember the ads for Tampa Bay 5 years ago, the little baby in diapers?
Yeah.
They're coming to the league?
Yeah.
Boy, that little baby is some young man now. So
They have
the
a good-
Rams, it'll have to be another day.
Tampa has a good shot to win this division now.
And how, especially with the Bears losing today. Tampa Bay under a full head of steam. Philadelphia just beat the hapless Giants, and we use that word advisedly, 17-13. 2nd and 5 from the 25. 2 minutes left. Ricky Bell following Johnny Davis, and he's bear hugged and brought down inside the 18 by Bob Brzezinski. That will be enough for a first down for Tampa Bay, so they continue to roll and hold on to the football.
Yeah, and offensively, you take your time. You're slow getting back to the huddle. You're slow getting out. You try to work that 30-second clock up there in the corner down to the very last second, every play.
Another thing exploited today, at the start of the game, we were telling you the Rams were second in the conference in ball possession. But Tampa Bay has just dominated the offense today. 30-second clock ticking away. 1st and 10 on the 18. Doug Williams taking plenty of time. Here goes Ricky Bell inside the 15, losing his helmet in the bargain. And with 1:05, Tampa Bay, it's just a question now if they're going to score again.
And you know, Vinny, I've seen situations like this where the defense lets down a little bit and the offense breaks one. The Rams should take time out, use their timeouts.
Our producer, Perry Smith, and our director, Tony Verna, we'd like to thank Dr. Bob Woods for the statistical information today. Vin Scully, along with George Allen, sending you the last 35 seconds and the birthday of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, they become men. Johnny Davis to about the 12. And they ought to sing happy birthday down here to John McKay and the Buccaneers. For the Rams, a good ball club having a bad day against a very good defense.
It's a great win for the entire Tampa Bay organization.
There it is.
Hugh Culverhouse, the community, they've suffered. They beat a playoff team, and they beat them decisively.
And for that man, John McKay, the greatest victory without a doubt in his professional career, one of the biggest in his all-time career, Pat Hayden, whom he had at SC, first to come over to shake his hands, and Danny Rysick, then Dr. Bob Curl, and they know how important it was to John and to Corky and the kids. It's been painful. McKay has been eaten up down here. The Wolves took a lot of holes in him when they lost 26 in a row. But they're coming now, and they are 4-0, and the Rams are 2-2.
And you know, Benny, they dominated this ball game. They dominated this ball game. The only touchdown the Rams got was an interception by Youngblood.
Vin Scully for George Allen. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.